damaging hundreds of homes. Fox News, fair and balanced.
It is 32 degrees. We have partly cloudy skies. 5:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott. A fierce fire blazing on Chicago's west side this morning. 2 are dead in that fire. Chicago Fire Immediate Response tells us the blaze began early this morning in an apartment building near West Chicago and Laramie. Both victims died at Mount Sinai Hospital. The cause of that fire remains under investigation this morning. One person is dead, several others hurt, following a massive crash on the Eisenhower Expressway near Elmhurst. Authorities say the fire broke out around 2 yesterday afternoon after 3 semi-tractor trailers and 4 other vehicles collided. One person was killed while 3 drivers were hospitalized. All eastbound lanes of I-290 on the extension were closed for over 12 hours, actually only opening early this morning while crews cleared that scene. A taxi driver accused of sexually abusing and then robbing a passenger last weekend on Chicago's north side is due in bond court today. Mustafa Dikbas faces charges of aggravated criminal sexual abuse, kidnapping, and theft. A group is claiming Cook County jail commanders, a group of former Cook County jail commanders suing Tom Dart, the sheriff of Cook County, and other county leaders. That lawsuit filed this week claims Dart fired high-ranking jail officers as payback for trying to form a union. The sheriff's office responded by saying the layoffs were the result of unreasonable budget cuts imposed by County Board President Tony Preckwinkle. Meantime, the sheriff's office is forming a task force to combat violence at cemeteries during funerals. Sheriff Tom Dart.
This has been something that has been escalating, I'd say, over the last 10 to 15 years, from where it was not much of a problem, where it was very isolated, to where now it occurs more frequently.
The group will be made up of political, religious, and funeral industry leaders. The formation of that task force comes after shots were fired last December from moving vehicles during a funeral procession from Chicago to Hillside. Dan Biss doesn't know how much it costs to take the train to downtown Chicago. J.B. Pritzker doesn't have a clue how much it costs to put kids into daycare. The price of everyday items became an issue in last night's Democratic debate. Candidates for governor tried to show they're in touch with voters, but lost touch during that debate on the most simple questions. Both wrong answers drew a lot of jokes on social media overnight. More trouble for Cook County Assessor Joe Barrios, who's also the County Democratic Party chairman here in Cook County, asking a judge to invalidate county ethics rules that bar tax appeal lawyers from contributing to his campaign. Those lawyers have provided Barrios with hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years, even though the County Board of Ethics warned Barrios last year he was breaking the rules. Meantime, Barrios did not attend a mandatory county board meeting where a critical report on the operation of his office was the subject of that hearing. Bail set at $100,000 for a Chicago man accused of driving at Elmhurst police this week. Byron Otterbury faces multiple charges, including aggravated assault on a police officer. It happened during a traffic stop Tuesday near York Road and Crestview. Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson says gun violence crimes were down in February for the 12th straight month. Police Department recording 38 homicides last month compared with 49 in February of last year. Prosecutors are pushing ahead with charges against a Chicago woman who they say stole thousands of dollars in lingerie. Police say they arrested Latasha Garrett about a half an hour after she and another group of people swiped about $2,300 worth of bras and underwear from the Victoria's Secret in Bloomingdale. Prosecutors say the case does need to go forward to send a message about how much shoplifting costs local retailers in the Chicago area. A bill that would ban tackle football for kids under the age of 12 is advancing in the Illinois House. AM 560's David Stewart takes a look.
Sponsors say the goal of the bill is to prevent traumatic brain injuries in children that can lead to the degenerative brain disease called CTE. At an Illinois House Committee hearing, Dr. Robert Stern of Boston University testified that bigger helmets don't help enough.
And unfortunately, the big helmets, even the newest and biggest, they can't protect the brain from moving back and forth and stretching and shearing at each time they get hit.
The committee approved the bill, and it now heads to the full House. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
A Milwaukee man is accused of sending threatening letters to public officials in Lake County. Chicago Tribune reporting Timothy Holler is charged with threatening public officials. Authorities say he sent a complaint letter to multiple offices and departments within Lake County government, a letter referencing recent mass shootings in Florida. The Wells Street Bridge will be closed today. Bridge will be shut down from 9:30 to 2:30 for testing and maintenance before the start of the boating season. It's one and done for Northwestern in the Big Ten basketball tournament. Wildcats lost to Penn State 65-57. Eastern Illinois, after one upset win, falls out of the Ohio Valley Conference tournament with a loss to Austin Peay. The Missouri Valley quarterfinals continue today. The tournament in St. Louis at the Scott Trade Center. Loyola with Coach of the Year, Porter Moser, squares off with Northern Iowa. Bradley takes on Drake. SIU battling Missouri State, and the Redbirds of Illinois State meet Indiana State. Blackhawks no match for the Sharks, 7-2. Rockies and Cubs play to a 2-all tie. White Sox blew big leads in a loss to the Reds. The news, a service of Indeed.com. Indeed, used by over 3 million businesses for hiring, where business owners and HR professionals can post job openings with screener questions, then sort, review, and communicate with candidates from an online dashboard. Learn more at Indeed.com/hire. 5:08, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
She ran Al Gore's presidential campaign. She served as the chair of the Democratic National Committee. She's considered one of the most influential Democrats in the country. And on Thursday, March 22nd, Donna Brazile will go head-to-head with AM 560's Dan Proft. It's Beyond the Talking Points with Dan Proft and Donna Brazile. They'll discuss, dissect, and debate the big issues dividing our country. Get your tickets at 560theanswer.com/beyond. Sponsored in part by AM Woodland Outdoor Design.
If you still haven't purchased the very best pillow, of course I'm talking about MyPillow, the 4-pack deal is back. So I strongly urge you to go online or call now to make sure you take advantage of this great deal. A great night's sleep is so important, so give yourself the gift of a great night's sleep by ordering a MyPillow. By using the promo code Amy, you'll get the absolute best deal available anywhere. The MyPillow 4-pack deal includes 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows at 50% off. I love that I can move the fill to get the support I need, regardless if I sleep on my back or side. I never wake up with a stiff neck or headache. And MyPillow is made in America, washable and dryable, hypoallergenic, and has a 10-year warranty, plus a 60-day money-back guarantee. So get your 50% off the 4-pack by calling 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
Boss, there's a photographer out here who wants to do a piece on Jimmy John's for her magazine.
What kind of piece?
Well, she heard about a clothing optional delivery policy and...
Did you tell her the naked driver incident was a momentary misunderstanding?
Yes, sir, but...
Did you tell her it's our meats that are going all natural, not our drivers?
Yes, sir, that's not...
Did you tell her Jimmy John's is committed to serving sandwiches with only the finest all-natural ham, roast beef, salami, bacon, and real fresh turkey breast?
Yes, sir, I did, sir.
So she wants to photograph our sandwiches?
No, sir. Actually, she wants to do a calendar.
A what?
A calendar. You know, the men of Jimmy John's.
Dibs on January.
People make your business work. But how do you find the right talent? ZipRecruiter. One click posts your job to over 100 top job boards. Then, smart matching technology instantly alerts quality candidates about your job. No wonder 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
To try ZipRecruiter for free, just go to ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio.
5:11. Let's get an update on the roads. The Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center for us this morning. Here's Jim Telemonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Michael. The Eisenhower is completely open again after that, yesterday's wreck, which had everything shut down for many hours. Is a crash now on southbound I-55, south of Shanahan. Seeing delays from Arsenal to River Road. Traffic just gets by this crash the right shoulder. There's also a collision at Payless Park this morning, 123rd and 80th Avenue. The west side, fire has been put out on Chicago Avenue west of Larry, but the closure of Chicago Avenue remains in that area as they clean up an investigation. Is just getting going there. On the Edens, everything is fine. Same goes to the Kennedy right now. Eisenhower again good. No problems to report on the inbound ride. Outbound, just have a crash reported now at 31st Street. This is blocking the local lanes. Traffic is getting through, but slowly, and there is an investigation going on here on the outbound ride. Again, big jam from the Stevenson to 31st Street. Tollways look good. Traffic service of Napa this month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Napa Night Vision Premium Capsules are up to $10 off when you buy a pack. That's Napa know-how. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Well, that comes from meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Mostly sunny day, high 46. Clear night, low 29. Sunny tomorrow, high 48, and a clear night, low 32. Sunshine Sunday, high 50, and at night becoming mostly cloudy, low 36. Becoming rainy Monday, high 48. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
31 at O'Hare, 34 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Lou Bridges Show. Get foreclosure defense solutions that may save your home. Saturday mornings at 8 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan, and in for Amy this morning, who's had to fly out to D.C. to interview for that White House comm job.
Really? I thought it was the Friday flu.
Replace Hope Hicks, potentially. You know, our girl could be going national.
Huh? She's got long gams.
As far as you know.
Sure.
In for her, that sultry voice you hear is Sean from Elmwood Park.
Yeah. Just enough notice. You gave me, about 4.5 hours, and I still was here a half hour before you.
Well, it's an opportunity for you to advertise your Oscar party Sunday night. What's going on at Elmhurst Cigar House?
Elmhurst Cigar House, where socialists will be taxed, 100% taxed. Communists will be dragged in the back and beat up. You can come on over.
The pageantry. How is that Oscar related?
We make fun of Hollywood people.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we play poker, maybe. Mike Scott said he'd show up. He looks like a pigeon.
I don't know. It sounds to me like it's the movie Red with Warren Beatty.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
It's a little pogrom-ish.
I just want him up on the stage again. Warren Beatty. You never know what's going to happen. He's the Trump of actors. It's just great.
He is going to be up on the stage again. Isn't he giving away Best Picture? I think didn't they.
Is that right?
Didn't they say Warren Beatty's going to give away Best Picture again with Faye Dunaway?
Are they doing it again?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
You got to team them up again. I love it.
That might be the only thing I can watch.
Makes about as much sense as Trump tariffs.
I don't think. Stop with shoehorning in segues to topics you want to discuss. But Jimmy Kimmel's hosting the Oscars.
I've had enough of Jimmy Kimmel. Honestly, I liked him better with the girls on trampolines when he was the Man Show.
Sure.
When he pretended to have a common sense of the economy, he was a decent, normal guy then.
You know, on the Man Show, you know who? Remember they had that little fat kid who did the Man on the Street interviews?
Yeah, what happened to him?
He grew up and he owns a cigar shop in Elmhurst.
Oh, yeah. You called me a fat kid? I think you called me a fat kid.
Walked right into that one. That was nice. All right. Late breaking news yesterday evening is that after his roundtable discussion yesterday, Trump's roundtable discussion with a bipartisan group of Congress beings, yesterday met with the NRA, met with their top guy, Christopher Cox, and the NRA suggested that they had a great meeting. And that Trump supports strong due process and does not want gun control. That's what Executive Director Christopher Cox said. He was assured Trump not only supports the Second Amendment but also backs strong due process and doesn't want gun control, which is very different than what the president actually said during that roundtable discussion with the Congress beings. Let me give you a little bit of flavor.
The reason I had lunch with the NRA on Sunday. I called them. I said, you got to come over. I said, fellas, we got to do something. And they do have great power. I agree with that. They have great power over you people. They have less power over me. I don't need it. What do I need? But I tell you, they are well-meaning. And I said to them very nice, I said, fellas, we got to do something. We can't keep restricting, and we have to do what's right. When it comes to mental health and other issues, I said, we have to do what's right. And I'm telling you, I think they're there. I think they're there. Some of you people are petrified of the NRA. You can't be petrified. They want to do what's right, and they're going to do what's right. I really believe that. I think it was a very good lunch.
All right, so that lunch begot a meeting yesterday evening, and that apparently went even better, according to Christopher Cox.
Well, there's two things that he needs. He needs principles and fundamental understanding of unalienable rights and the Constitution. Those are some things he needs.
Wow.
Because I think it'll stop a lot of this backdoor nationalization of your life, whether it's the economy or whether it's rights that he picks and chooses. And the nice thing about Trump, and here's my optimism about Trump, the last guy he talks to, that's his new position. So all we need to do with the economy is somehow shock Milton Friedman or Hayek or von Mises and get him up and have him talk to him. And I think we'll be okay. Just as long as the last person to talk to him is a fundamentalist, we're going to be all right.
Well,
but that first stuff, where he wants to take my daughter's Second Amendment right away from her when she goes to college, that's the stuff I don't like.
Yeah, he at that roundtable meeting, of course, he discussed raising the age required to purchase a rifle to 21. And again, this is perhaps the most disturbing thing he said during that roundtable discussion. And he didn't go kind of completely to the other side, but it was Trump where he says things impulsively, and he doesn't really come from a strong philosophical foundation. So he says things that are oftentimes surprising, like this.
But we have to do something very decisive. Number one, you can take the guns away immediately from people that you can adjudge easily are mentally ill, like this guy. The police saw that he was a problem. They didn't take any guns away. Now, that could have been policing. I think they should have taken them away anyway, whether they had the right or not. But I'll tell you this, you have to have very strong provisions for the mentally ill. Now, a lot of people are saying, I shouldn't be saying that. I'll tell you what, I don't want mentally ill people to be having guns. Marco?
Nobody does, but I want to live in a society where individuals' due process rights are protected too, and that's the tough guy talk where he takes it too far and he starts to say, the hell with everything else, we're just going to accomplish this and we're not going to give consideration to anything else. It's not only improper, it's also sophomoric.
Does
really
he understand that the Democrats think he's mentally ill? That's what I kept ringing in my head during this. For 3 weeks ago, he was mentally unfit to serve. Congresswoman after congresswoman, even the ones that weren't repulsive, constantly wanted to take away his office due to his mental stability and the ambiguity of mental illness. I wonder how many people out there went through a divorce and went to go see a psychiatrist. How many women suffer from bulimia? How many people in their life have gone to professionals for mental illness? You are categorized as mentally ill.
Yeah, it's right. It's a topic that requires some sobriety because we know most people that battle some kind of mental ailment do not commit violence. A lot of times it is temporary, like depression, where people, with perhaps the help of professionals, pull themselves out of it and leave a dark period in their life behind. So it requires some kind of textured thinking, and that obviously wasn't on display. And here's the other thing. I mean, to your point, but you never know when you're going to be on the other side of Dr. Bandy Lee from Yale saying you're not mentally fit for that and you're not mentally fit to possess that right. And it's dangerous talk. And so it's interesting to see coming out of what he said at that roundtable discussion versus what he reportedly was said in the meeting with Christopher Cox, the executive director of the NRA, where Trump actually ends up on this. I wonder if this will end up being very much like DACA. A lot of people having roundtable discussions and then ex parte meetings, and a couple of months will go by, and it'll go by the boards.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, weather
I know
girl.
to do the weather by now. I got Mike Scott. Who turned my mic off? Is it you? All right. Amy gets sick because today it's 28 right now, and it's going to get up to 46. That's how you get sick. Tomorrow's sunshine.
You're so angry. You're even angry at the weather.
Well, I'm angry at the kid in there in the girl's jeans who keeps turning my mic on and off. Tomorrow, sunny, high 47. Low tomorrow night, 29. Same thing like today. Sunday, plenty of sunshine, high 51. That's when you get to go out and start your hacking career. Low Sunday night, 36. Monday, mostly cloudy, breezy, and becoming rainy, high 48. Low Monday night. I'm not even going to read Tuesday because they're completely guessing. And now what do? We go where? To the news with Mike Scott. I like Jim Telemonte. He's always dressed very stylish. Traffic.
Good morning, Sean. Good morning, Dan. Got another major wreck. This one is on the outbound Ryan Expressway. Everything's shut down right now between the Stevenson and 31st Street. Local lanes are all closed. However, trucks can use the express lanes. They're open, but expect delays there. It looks like this one's going to be closed for a little while for some investigation and cleanup. Inbound, we see mild delays approaching 31st, and then from 18th into the Circle, just 19 minutes 95th to downtown. The Eisenhower is all open again after yesterday's wreck. Had it shut down for hours. Eden's, Kennedy, wide open. Have some mild delays on southbound I-55 Arsenal to Blodgett. Earlier crash there is gone. Inbound Stevenson looks good. On Bishop Ford, just a little tight approaching the merge. Tollways are fine. Northwest Indiana, well, that looks great. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
If you're aged 59 and a half or older with the 401k plan and still working, stop what you're doing and call Arlington Capital Management at 855-471-5796. They'll help you actively manage your 401k, show you strategies to avoid major declines, and capitalize on opportunities. There are benefits with age, and this is one of them. At 59 and a half, you're entitled to new opportunities in the investment world that can dramatically improve your results and even lower your fees. Call 855-471-5796 now and take the first step toward getting more out of your retirement assets. The team at Arlington Capital Management proactively explores the market, our economy, and all of the variables that offset your investments. Call 855-471-5796 now for a complimentary consultation. That's 855-471-5796 or visit arlington-capital.com. You worked hard to accumulate your nest egg. Now, it's time to put your money to work for you.
With so many homeowners fearful of poor service and not knowing who to trust, home remodeling is often delayed. But do you ever wonder why so many remodeling experiences go so wrong? Advanced Design Studio thinks remodeling shouldn't be so painful. Will the project stay on budget and be done on time? If you're nervous about home remodeling, you're not alone. Whether you're contemplating a new kitchen or bath, want an addition to your home, or in need of a whole house transformation, Advanced Design Studio is the company to call. They understand your fears and know how to overcome them. Backed by 25 years of producing positive remodeling experiences, Advanced Design's client service process, called Common Sense Remodeling, averts remodeling project delays, budget overruns, and produces a rewarding remodeling experience. Make this the year you overcome your fears and remodel your home, bath, or kitchen. Don't be a bad remodeling story. Use common sense and visit advanceddesignstudio.com for more information or call 847-836-2600.
Famous conservative quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
Barry Goldwater, in his famous book, The Conscience of a Conservative, wrote, "Any government that is big enough to give you all you want is also big enough to take it all away." How true this seems now.
It's important we support companies that share our conservative values. If you are a manufacturer, I encourage you to call my friend Laz Kulchar from Automated Systems. As a software and systems integration company, Automated Systems creates custom solutions to make your production lines, facilities, and plants run more efficiently. Imagine less downtime, more speed, and fewer rejects. It doesn't matter if you're a Fortune 500 or a startup, Automated Systems delivers solutions for your toughest automation challenges. For information, I encourage you, man, to talk to Laz at Automated Systems. Call 844-HIRE-ASI or visit automatedsys.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI.
Napa know-how. Hey, I'm Chase Elliott, driver of the number 9 Napa Chevy. Here to tell you that when you spend $25 at Napa this month, you'll get a free number 9 Napa racing cap. So whether you're a fan of drivers with fast cars or just a fan of keeping the sun out of your eyes, you'll get a free number 9 racing cap just for spending $25 at Napa. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Offer expires 3/31/18.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, what are you doing up here on the roof?
I want to tell the world I just met the woman of my dreams. Well, what about you?
I want to tell the world that Liberty Mutual saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
They saved me $782.
Oh, you go first then. $782 really puts finding love into perspective.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
Hey, Craig and Leslie here from In the Know. Leslie, people have spring fever. Consumer confidence is up, and that means spending. We want folks to enjoy what they've worked so hard for, but don't forget...
Craig, are you trying to tell me something? I know. Retirement's right around the corner.
Listen, a new season is time for regrowth and building on what you already have. You don't need to do it alone if you have Wealth Management Group at your side.
Spring into action and make Wealth Management Group your go-to partner. And listen to In the Know Sunday mornings at 10 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Highland Park Ford Lincoln's in the house. Here's Alan Marty.
For 30 years, we've been making people happy with incredible deals and service.
We're the best Ford Lincoln dealers in town.
Because making people happy makes us happy.
No doubt. This is one happy place.
Heck, we just break into dance all the time.
We don't break into dance at the dealership.
Sure we do.
No, we really don't.
We could. Come on, Marty, dance with me.
The Highland Park Ford Lincoln Superstore. Call 1-800-984-9000 or go to alanmarty.com.
Admit it.
Okay, you're a lovely dancer.
Thank you. This is Alan Marty. Deal with us.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and in for Amy, Sean from Elmwood Park, and let's take our friend Verlon on the south side. Verlon, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah. What's up, Sean? How you doing, man?
Good, buddy.
Hey, what's
good.
up, Dan?
Hey.
Listen, it should be a law made. Now, I understand you know that our president talks in broad terms, but when it comes to mental health, it should be a law saying all psychologists, all mental health physicians should be ordered to turn over the mental records of the people that they take care of that exhibit violent tendencies.
You know who else
and
had
all
that
of these
law?
all of these law enforcement agencies, instead of playing like they're the big dogs on the block, they should be ordered to share their information for people that they know exhibit violence.
You're not worried.
Violence. Period.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is a duty to report, but you need to be careful about laws in that realm rather than individual cases where you have to follow due process, right? Because you don't want to violate the doctor-patient privilege, do you, Verlon?
No, I don't. But see, these are too many hoops. If you getting called to somebody's house 39 times,
no, I understand.
39 times.
I understand.
You're overcompensating for public employee failure. I mean, why not say Yavol after that law? Yavol. This is what I'm telling you. This statism that's sold by conservatives is outrageous. What do you mean a law doctors turn over their records? How about a law they can never turn over the records? How about a law they can never discuss with anybody the case between the individual who's paying them? Otherwise, you know what you're going to do? No more doctors. Because people like me, not that I ever go to a doctor, but why? What do you mean I have to worry about a doctor turning over what I discussed to some moron congressman with a side part, a bell-bottom suit? It's outrageous. Come on. More laws?
Coming up, the Trump campaign is selling $50 hats with a new slogan following on his announcement that he's running for re-election in 2020. We'll tell you what it is, and we'll take your suggestions for other Trump 2020 slogans at 5:38. But now, we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
31 degrees. The National Rifle Association is confident it has a friend in the Oval Office. 5:30 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott. President Trump did tweet that he had a great meeting with the NRA last night. The NRA's chief lobbyist tweeted that Trump and Vice President Mike Pence support the Second Amendment and strong due process. Traders on Wall Street are expecting stocks to be down this morning because of President Trump's tariff talk. The president announcing a plan to impose tariffs on imported steel and aluminum on Thursday.
They dump massive amounts of product in our country, and it just destroys our companies and our jobs, and that's been happening for so many years. And we are not the beneficiary.
The president vowed to rebuild U.S. steel and aluminum industries with tariffs, 10% on imported aluminum, 25% on steel. A monster storm is due to start pounding the East Coast today. The storm expected to bring drenching rain, howling winds, and high waves. A deadly outbreak of Lassa fever is hitting Nigeria. 72 have been killed, 300 infected. The U.S. ambassador to Mexico is quitting. Roberta Jacobson announcing her resignation Thursday. Jacobson's departure comes at a difficult time in U.S.-Mexico relations. Outdoor equipment and clothing retailer REI is cooling its relationship with a big supplier over the Florida school shooting. REI says it will not order products from Vista Outdoor because Vista is not responding to the shooting that killed 17 at a high school in Florida last month. 2 are dead following a fire on Chicago's west side. The blaze began early this morning in an apartment building near West Chicago and Laramie. 1 person is dead, several others hurt following a massive crash on the Eisenhower Expressway near Elmhurst yesterday afternoon. Dan Biss doesn't know how much it costs to take the train to downtown Chicago. J.B. Pritzker doesn't know how much it costs to put kids in daycare. Price of everyday items baffled the Democrats in a debate last night. Candidates for governor tried to show that they're in touch with voters in the latest debate, but eventually showed that they do not understand the latest in basic economics. Both wrong answers drew lots of jokes on social media overnight. Chicago sports, one and done for Northwestern in the Big Ten tournament. Cats lost to Penn State 65-57 in a second-round matchup at Madison Square Garden. The Valley tournament continues today. Quarterfinals at the Scott Trade Center in St. Louis. We'll watch Coach of the Year Porter Moser and his Loyola Ramblers square off with Northern Iowa. The news is a service of Indeed.com. Indeed, used by over 3 million businesses for hiring, where business owners and HR professionals can post job openings with screener questions, then sort, review, and communicate with candidates from an online dashboard. Learn more at Indeed.com/hire. 5:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher needs the rhetoric dialed down.
The ongoing assault on the NRA, they don't have blood on their hands. They're not a terrorist organization. And until that kind of rhetoric and that kind of nonsense is eliminated, if you think you're going to make any progress on gun control, you're out of your mind.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, roasted fresh daily in Batavia, Illinois.
Hi, Amy Jacobson here, and for the last few months, I've been taking a great weight loss supplement. It's called Calitrin, and if you haven't heard of it, go to toploss.com and find out all about this amazing product, because not only do my jeans fit me better, I'm not so scrunched in, my joint pain has gone away, and I love it because I sleep better at night. I don't have to take any sleeping aids to help fall asleep, and with that aspect of the benefits of Calitrin, here's Elizabeth.
Yes, ma'am. It truly is so much more than just weight loss. I mean, it is scientifically proven for weight loss. You're going to see inches and pounds come off, but there really are so many other side benefits to taking Calitrin. Like you said, better sleep, more energy, even less joint pain. Just go to toploss.com, click on the science tab. You can read up on how it works. You actually take it at bedtime right before you go to sleep, and then you just wake up feeling great. Again, that's toploss.com. And if you get ready to order today, don't forget to use promo code Amy. That's going to save you 10% on your order today.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but as you grew up, things changed. Teaching just didn't seem like the best option anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Interesting and innovative things are happening in teaching today, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of a quality solid door from Competitive Door and Supply Company. Doors that serious contractors use for everything from hospitals to schools to warehouses. Not the hollow stuff you find at the big box home improvement stores. Solid core wood doors made out of oak and birch, steel doors, and custom orders ready for installation. Call Competitive Door and Supply Company, 708-366-0194. And for a limited time, get free delivery.
5:36. Let's get an update on the roads this morning. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the west side, Chicago Avenue remains closed west of Laramie due to that early morning fire. The Eisenhower Expressway is all open right now. We're not seeing any delays. Eden to Kennedy are clear. Stevenson inbound at Sevy Central to Pulaski. Got about a 3-minute delay there. On the Ryan outbound, got closure of the expressway right now. This is due to a major wreck at 31st Street. All local lanes are blocked. Traffic can divert through the express. Expect some delays there, but crews are at the scene, and they may be there for a little while to clean this up. Again, the locals are closed at 31st from the Stevenson to 31st Street. Inbound, bit of a gaper's delay there. Then it's heavy approaching downtown. 19 minutes, 95th to Loop. Bishopford, 20 minutes, 80-94 to Merge. Tollways are fine. Traffic service from Napa. This month, participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Napa Aero Shield, Napa Pro Select cabin air filters, 25% off. That's Napa know-how. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. We'll have a sunny day ahead, high 46. Clear and 28 overnight. Sunshine in 47 tomorrow. Currently 31. Next news at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan, and in for Amy this morning. Sean from Elmwood Park. Sean here to preview his Oscars gala Sunday night at the Elmhurst Cigar House, where you'll be wearing JCPenney.
Absolutely. Well, black tie and a Dago tee.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks good. Let's go to this guy who says I'm wrong. I don't even want to wait for him.
No.
All right.
But it was a nice effort. Yeah, it's just...
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what. This is where statism works. I ask you what's on the show. You tell me, wait, we'll find out. Everything's about Dan Proft.
No, I suggested you read so that you have an idea of the stories that we may be discussing.
Stuff, huh?
And yeah,
okay.
You read. Preparation.
Yeah.
99% preparation, 1% inspiration. That's life, Sean from Elmwood Park. I'm glad I could mentor you here this morning.
Yeah. Teach me more, oh guru.
All right, we'll get to a couple calls since, this is kind of open source today with Sean and his undisciplined manner. But I did want to get your reaction to the new Trump swag, the new Trump merchandise.
Whoa.
I'm surprised you're not sporting one of the first hats that's come off the assembly line. And no tariffs on these hats, by the way. American Dreamer, the new hat being offered by Trump for his 2020 reelection.
How much is the hat?
$50.
$50. And you say there's no tariffs on it, huh? It's a Caddyshack hat that they stopped making in the 80s.
It looks good on you.
Yeah. You know what it is? If you wear those big squared hats, it rounds off your bell bottom for the older fellas and the Hillary Clintons out there. I mean, those hats are ridiculous. You look ridiculous. And then it says American Dreamer.
Do you like this better than the MAGA hat? Or
no, I like the other one that says Make America Great by doing everything that we never used to make it great in the first place.
That's that's too long to fit on a hat.
It's on the back. You ever see the heads on these people?
It just wraps around.
Take a look at the size of the heads on the GOP. You could put anything slogan you want on there.
I wouldn't say that Trump voters necessarily would identify as GOP. That's sort of a different kettle of fish.
You mean the Trump voters that hated the Obama agenda but now support it? The same agenda that's sold by Trump.
Okay. The broad brush and the bloviating. Let's
get specific.
Well, let's. We will get specific, and I want to talk about the steel and aluminum tariffs. But first, let me enlist some help here. Bill in Kalamazoo, Michigan. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, guys. Hey, Sean, I want to test your veracity of your opinion of doctors never being able to read anything or reveal anything in the case of the Virginia Tech. Had that psychologist been able to reveal the violent delusions of the patient, at minimum, the authorities could have investigated the guy and at best saved numerous lives.
You mean like they investigated the guy in Florida? Are those the authorities you want to say?
No.
She's
I'm
talking about the doctor.
Your opinion about the doctor.
We do
being
not
able to reveal violent tendencies of his.
Here's the thing, Bill. We do not persecute people before they've done a crime. Can you watch them? Can you alert? These are things that who gets to decide that? The doctor?
Well, here's
I'm not talking persecution. I'm talking about just being able to look at somebody.
Yeah, well, Bill, here's the deal. There is a professional responsibility. There is a duty to report if you think that a patient presents an imminent threat to someone else. So there is a override valve for the doctor-patient confidentiality. And there's also and then obviously if law enforcement got involved, there's courts where you can get a court order. So I'm not so sure exactly what the public policy proposal is that you're advocating.
Well, maybe to loosen it a little bit, because from what I understand from the American Psychiatric Association, the only way they can notify law enforcement is if an individual makes a specific threat to a specific individual. This person was talking in generalities about, I want to go shoot people. That's where the catch-22 comes in.
Yeah,
He's portraying violent tendencies, but it constrains the doctor.
Yeah, thanks for the call. But here's the thing. You had other people around. Let's take the Florida shooter. Other people around the Florida shooter. His employer, for example, that, at least according to his account, saw nothing wrong.
But he was specific when he told the girl who tipped off the FBI twice that he wanted to go back to the school.
Yes.
Listen, investigation failed on that kid at every level.
Right.
At every single level.
Right.
So this idea that we're going to create a law where doctors feel that their patients may be a threat, and instead of treating them, turn them in, that's called Cuba.
Well,
I mean, what do we become?
Well, the thing is, right, there is this illogical argument that's being made. The state failed at every level in every instance, and so the response to the state failing to judiciously use its power is to give the state more power.
It's what we do with spending. Why not this?
These are right. So these are judgment calls, and even if you opened up, such as Bill suggests, what doctors are able to do, it's still going to be a judgment call, and then you have the possibility that they will exercise their power improperly to the detriment of somebody who is otherwise innocent, or who otherwise, is not.
You cannot preemptively make
violent.
Somebody guilty.
No, it's not about guilt. You're not adjudicating the case. The suggestion is the level to which you can infringe on somebody else's rights or violate confidentiality agreements, violate privilege, and so, and this is disturbing. Everything goes back to human judgment in this context, and people want to pass a law that kind of suggests that, well, we've addressed that, we've passed a law, and so we can take human judgment out of it. And when you take human judgment out of it, you know what you get? You get kids being whistled in for a police investigation for completing a math exam where somebody thought the square root sign was a gun.
Exactly.
It's idiotic. I mean, so people need to be a little bit restrained themselves in terms of that balance between freedom and security. Jim in Rogers Park.
Hey, gentlemen, good morning. I want to let you know that I was watching 5 minutes of that prime propagandist Ben Jaworski listening yesterday at night, and he refers to the Genie Ives crowd. Well, I like to observe my enemy. So when I'm out here working at night, sometimes I listen to the progressive radio talk show personalities and see what propaganda they're spitting out.
Yeah, sure.
They were talking about Rauner's predicament. Rauner's predicament is whether he's choosing between the North Shore elitists in Kenilworth and Winnetka or the raw meat eating crowd of Genie Ives.
Yeah.
That's what you guys are. That's what you guys are being portrayed.
like
the raw
medium rare.
meat-eating crowd.
I like a steak tartare
I like rare.
from time to time.
I must admit, when I go to Gibson's, I want to paint.
I was very offended because I'm actually vegan because I got sick and so I have to be vegan now. So I was like, this is real bullshit.
Oh, whoa, hello, all right, Jim. It's
I think we got a new guy on the board there with the late on the button.
Yeah, the vegan thing. It's what happens when you don't eat meat.
Yeah, you get testy and you start to swear.
Well, that's exactly right. So let that be a cautionary tale for people out there.
To Jim's broader point, if you notice when it's aggravating for me when I get home, I take the kids home from school, right? And I stay around there.
That must be aggravating for them.
Yeah, and my wife watches all the news and she likes that TMZ, so it's a really stressful 3 hours before I go back to my other job. And
which is watching movies at the Elmer Cigar House?
Ixnay and the Uvi Maze. Anyway, as you watch the commercials for the Democrats, and whether it's that Rosie O'Donnell lookalike Pritzker, or Rabbit-Face Kennedy, or Vincent Price Biss, they're the same message. In each and every commercial, it's just which buffoon do you want in charge of your life? And, I find it ironic that necklace buffoon, Rosie O'Donnell Pritzker, he's
necklace,
never
L-E-S-S, not
never done
L-A-C-E.
anything.
Yeah.
He's never, ever done anything. I mean, this is a trust fund, baby.
I understand.
Waiting for the truck. At least Kennedy tried to do something. He did it wrong, but he tried.
Well, what about all the commercials I see where he's rolling around in the lawn with kids and he talks about how involved he's been in early childhood education and
breakfast? When he talks about breakfast?
Well,
what's on my mind is a good breakfast.
You know why they're all selling different forms of the same thing? Is because people in Illinois love it. They love it.
Yeah. Just say progress and you could do anything.
All right, this is a little bit of a potpourri segment so we can skip around. Jim in Chicago, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, how you doing? I'm a retired Chicago police officer. And in the police department, they used to, if you went for confidentiality with counseling, it was kept. They opened up a program where police could talk to somebody and there'd be no repercussions.
Yeah, right.
The problem with a lot of the things that they're proposing with these gun regulations is if you go to a doctor and now with everything on computers, they can find out that you went and saw a psychiatrist or you took this medication. There's so many people that are afraid if they do go to a doctor to get help for something that it'll be recorded and documented. So now people who could get the help and alleviate a problem won't get the help because they're afraid of repercussions.
Well,
and when they did this in the police department, police officers opened up and everything was okay because they knew that it was kept totally confidential.
No, that's a great point, Jim. Thanks for the call. And that's why we should be careful about willy-nilly violating privilege in the pursuit of the lives of others type of society. I mean, there's a reason, and you have to look at both sides of it so that you do have people incentivized to seek the help they need when they need it. I mean, that's perfectly reasonable. Think about police officers involved in a shooting and how traumatic that experience is, and he wants to talk to somebody about it, which is a difficult thing for a cop to do. Do you want to encourage him to do it, or do you want to discourage him to do it? Obviously.
Absolutely. And the more regulations you put on doctors or rules or laws where they have to turn in anyone they think is a danger makes people not go to the doctors, and it makes doctors
agents of the state.
Exactly. This is Politburo stuff.
All right, coming up, we're going to continue to take your suggested slogans. You can add on to American Dreamer. You want to give Trump a lot of variety in terms of sloganeering for the 2020 reelect. American Dreamer is his new offering. And then at 6:03, of course, a topic near and dear to Sean from Elmwood Park's heart, we're going to talk steel tariffs.
Oh, can't wait.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
If you still haven't purchased the very best pillow, of course I'm talking about MyPillow, the 4-pack deal is back. So I strongly urge you to go online or call now to make sure you take advantage of this great deal. A great night's sleep is so important, so give yourself the gift of a great night's sleep by ordering a MyPillow. By using the promo code Amy, you'll get the absolute best deal available anywhere. The MyPillow 4-pack deal includes 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows at 50% off. I love that I can move the fill to get the support I need, regardless if I sleep on my back or side. I never wake up with a stiff neck or headache. And MyPillow is made in America, washable and dryable, hypoallergenic, and has a 10-year warranty plus a 60-day money-back guarantee. So get your 50% off the 4-pack by calling 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
As a business owner, you have hundreds of decisions to make on a daily basis. It's beyond needing to pay bills, keeping employees happy, or what the next step is to grow your business. Part of your stress can be making sure you're protected in a time of crisis. Can you trust that your insurance provider is going to be there when you need them most? When you're looking for a partner who's there for you in your most desperate times, call Insure with us. You won't have to wait on hold to talk to an agent who's unfamiliar with your policy. Speak directly to who wrote your policy when you have any urgent question or need. Don't hesitate. Get it done today. Get a free quote in less than 24 hours at lowcostinsurance.biz. Choose from dozens of top insurers across the U.S. Insure with us focuses on finding you the best coverage for your business and for your family. Visit them today at lowcostinsurance.biz. Insure with us. Coverage for the things that matter most.
Latoria Brothers Construction Company is a proud sponsor of AM 560 and Food for the Poor. Turn to Latoria Brothers Construction Company for all your commercial, industrial, or retail construction needs. New construction, renovations, interior remodeling, facility expansions, and tenant owner build-outs. Latoria Brothers Construction Company has you covered from start to finish. From design concept through construction completion, Latoria Brothers offers a single-source proactive approach. Their family has been providing a high level of excellence in service, reliability, and experience since 1948. Latoria Brothers. They'll modify services to accommodate your construction needs no matter what size and scope. Consulting, design, build, construction management, general contracting. Achieve your vision and dream for your facility. Save time and money. Make Latoria Brothers part of your construction team. Quality workmanship, on time, on budget. Visit LatoriaConstruction.com or call 630-766-3036. Latoria Brothers. Shaking hands, not fists.
Safety. It's so important at your industrial facility. You need to keep your personnel safe and meet OSHA requirements. One problem with your ladders, platforms, or safety guards, and you could be facing costly fines. Vans Industrial helps you meet OSHA standards to keep your employees safe.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. As a business owner, I realize the importance of keeping my employees safe, and I'm here to offer my expertise. Vans Industrial is a specialty contractor uniquely equipped to design, fabricate, and install safety equipment, including walkways, handrails, stairways, and machinery guards. Our Vans Industrial team can inspect existing systems, engineer solutions, fabricate quality goods, and install them with trained pros, all making a safer environment for your employees.
Call 833-VANS-IND for a free inspection of your facility. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS industrial.com. Quality craftsmanship since 1964.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth. Who would win a 3-mile bicycle race, an 11-year-old girl or last year's winner of the Tour de France? It all depends on the bicycle. It depends on their vehicle. Both on a 10-speed and the pro racer is going to win every time. But put the racer on a tricycle and the 11-year-old wins every time. You see, it's not the driver, it's the vehicle. When it comes to generating revenue, it's exactly the same. If you have a job or a small business, you are riding a tricycle. You can only go so fast. If you need to make up lost ground, it's not going to happen on a tricycle. No matter how fast you pedal, it's simply not going to win the race. Why do many people with no schooling and no advanced degree often become very wealthy? Simple. They choose to only ride 10 speeds. When it comes to helping people create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss when it comes to putting people on a 10-speed. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Hiring is important. People are what make your business work. But how do you find the right talent? ZipRecruiter makes it simple. One click sends your job ad to over 100 of the web's leading job boards. But ZipRecruiter doesn't stop there. Their smart matching technology will instantly alert quality candidates about your job. That means you'll start getting great candidates with the right experience almost as soon as your job is posted. No wonder 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. The right candidates are out there. This is how you find them. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
People from businesses of all sizes trust ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs. We're so confident ZipRecruiter will get you better results than anywhere else. We'll let you try it free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Highland Park Ford Lincoln's in the house. Here's Alan Marty.
We're back on the radio and getting bigger than ever.
We're the #1 Lincoln dealer in town.
And Chicagoland's first ever Ford Lincoln Superstore, too.
Folks like our great deals, for sure.
Just yesterday, I got attacked by the paparazzi.
Really?
But I think the groupies are the worst.
Groupies?
All the Highland Park groupies.
31 at O'Hare, 34 along the lakefront. The news is a service of Napa. Nothing like a little rain to remind you that it's time to change your windshield wipers. Luckily, you're a quick stop away from Napa and away from new wiper blades and streakless windshields. So stop by during your local Napa store this weekend to make driving in the rain a lot less like driving in the rain. Quality parts, helpful people, that is Napa know-how. 5:59, here are the stories we're following this morning on AM 560. The Answer. 2 are dead following a serious fire on Chicago's west side. Chicago Fire tells us the blaze began early this morning in an apartment building near West Chicago and Laramie Avenues. A taxi driver accused of sexually abusing and robbing a passenger last weekend on Chicago's north side is due in bond court later today. A group of former Cook County jail commanders is suing Sheriff Tom Dart and other union leaders. Lawsuit this week that claims Dart fired the high-ranking jail officers as payback for trying to form a union. Chicago sports, one and done for Northwestern at the Big Ten basketball tournament. Mostly sunny day ahead in your forecast. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
Trade wars are good and easy to win. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump tweeted that this morning amid the fallout from his tariff announcement. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, President Trump is defending his tariffs announcement yesterday at the White House.
It'll be 25% for steel. It'll be 10% for aluminum. And it'll be for a long period of time.
The president tweeted, when we are down $100 billion with a certain country and they get cute, don't trade anymore. We win big. The president believes tariffs will protect American jobs, but the announcement is sparking concerns about a trade war. Republican Senator Orrin Hatch says the tariffs will come back to bite the American people. Dave.
Rachel, the European Commission is promising to react firmly, calling this blatant protectionism. China says it has grave concerns as stock markets drop big overseas the day after the Dow's 420-point plunge. President Trump met with NRA executives in the Oval Office last night. One of them, Chris Cox, tweeted, "We all want safe schools and to keep guns away from dangerous people, but the president does not want gun control."
This coming just the day after President Trump stunned a group of bipartisan lawmakers at the White House during a meeting on gun safety with the pledge to do whatever it takes to make schools safer, even if it means, quote, take the guns first, go through due process second.
Fox's Jillian Turner. Democratic Senate Leader Chuck Schumer says people are demanding stricter gun laws.
From one end of America to the other, among people of all political persuasions and all political parties.
A 17-year-old in Rolette, Texas, near Dallas, is jailed on $1 million bail after police arrested him sitting in his car Tuesday night with a mask, a semi-automatic rifle, and 100 rounds of ammunition parked outside a high school where a sporting event was about to end. It is stormy in the Northeast. Heavy snow in some areas, heavy rain near the coast where there may be flooding. More than 1,500 flights are canceled. Fox News, fair and balanced.
She ran Al Gore's presidential campaign. She served as the chair of the Democratic National Committee. She's considered one of the most influential Democrats in the country. And on Thursday, March 22nd, Donna Brazile will go head-to-head with AM 560's Dan Proft. It's Beyond the Talking Points with Dan Proft and Donna Brazile. They'll discuss, dissect, and debate the big issues dividing our country. Get your tickets at 560theanswer.com/beyond. Sponsored in part by 1-800-4-BLINDS, Chicago. Blinds, shades, and shutters.
Hiring is important. People are what make your business work. But how do you find the right talent? ZipRecruiter makes it simple. One click sends your job ad to over 100 of the web's leading job boards. But ZipRecruiter doesn't stop there. Their smart matching technology will instantly alert quality candidates about your job. That means you'll start getting great candidates with the right experience almost as soon as your job is posted. No wonder 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. The right candidates are out there. This is how you find them. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
People from businesses of all sizes trust ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs. We're so confident ZipRecruiter will get you better results than anywhere else. We'll let you try it free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Guns have no moral agency. Predators hurt and kill people. Often they use a gun. Good guys protect people. Often they use a gun. When a predator kills with a gun, he is rightly called a monster. When a good guy with a gun fails to protect people, he's rightly called a coward. The very nature of the way we discuss an atrocity like the Parkland school shooting conveys our understanding that it's bad guys and good guys who are responsible for what they do and not the instrumentality they use in their conduct. So arguing that the response to the deadly success of the shooter and the failure of the deputy sheriff is to reduce the number of good guys and their instrumentality choices does not logically follow from the accepted premise. And neither does the failure of state agencies locally and federally to exercise the power they currently possess make the case for expanding their power at the expense of our rights. No amount of emergency planning or algorithmic modeling or government power can replace the variety of human judgment calls that will be thrust upon a free people. The question then isn't what's in my holster, it's what's in my head and my heart.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan, and in for Amy this morning is Sean from Elmwood Park. And Sean, to go along with the new slogan, American Dreamer. New campaign slogan for 2020 for President Trump. He's got some neo-mercantilism, advancing policies that can't come as a surprise because he talked about these during the campaign.
That's when I stopped supporting him. Right here.
25% tariff on steel imports and a 10% tariff on aluminum imports to help protect American industry. Good idea. Another promise made and a promise kept. 312-642-5600 turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA turnkey.pro text line.
Now let me pose something to you, if I may, before you take a call. Do you think it's an accident that this tariff was put on before infrastructure? See, here's the sickening thing about government spending. Whether it's insurance for themselves, like in Cook County, or they jack the price up. And we, the people, pay that price. Because what the problem with government, since it started spending money, is it doesn't follow the rules of being more frugal with the people's money than their own.
Not new policy. Not new policy here. Some of the famous catastrophic tariffs of Lohr, Smoot-Hawley, Reagan's tariffs, import quotas on Japanese cars in the 80s. So it's not a new policy. I mean, the mercantilism is what gave rise to Adam Smith's Wealth of the Nations in 1776. So this is not new. It's not a surprise because he promised it. There are a lot of people in America who believe that the government imposing tariffs on foreign competitors protects their jobs, and that's part of putting America first. And so what do you say to them?
They're willfully ignorant. They're economic illiterates is what they are. They don't understand that there's more than the one dimension. The reality is when you're increasing the base cost of items, all those items increase. So do not the workers for the washing machines count? Do not the workers for the car manufacturers count? Or is it only the workers that Wilbur Ross can invest in? Because this is the prime example of corporatism. And this also shows you that Donald Trump has never bought anything in his life. This is a guy who's never...
Well,
No.
That.
I'm sorry, Prof. I knew he was a bad negotiator when you look at his real estate purchases and he sets new record pricing for everything he's ever bought.
Well,
I knew he liked frauding the numbers when his father took the $3 million worth of chips out of the Taj Mahal and left the building as a fake show of income for the Taj Mahal. So I knew all that. But I didn't think he'd really cared so little for the people who are the working people, who will bear the cost increases that these tariffs will cost. And then today he comes out and he says trade wars are good. That's his new title. So it shows you an economic illiterate that we have making decisions.
The EU has suggested they're going to respond. They're going to take it to the WTO as an unfair trade practice and all that. But let's talk domestically about it rather than kind of, mercantilist arguing at the geopolitical level. There is the consumer issue. There's also the employment issue. As much as you're talking about protecting jobs, because that's the essential rationale for a tariff that politicians will use. Wall Street Journal opining on this today, Trump's tariff folly. Trump seems not to understand the steel-using industries in the U.S. employ some 6.5 million people, while steel makers employ 140,000. Transportation, including aircraft and autos, account for 40% of domestic steel consumption, followed by packaging with 20% and building construction with 15%, which Trump does know something about. All will have to pay higher prices, making them less competitive globally and in the U.S. So how does that make sense?
It's the simpleton understanding of zero sum that is the base of all this nonsense. There is no zero sum in trade. And the idea that third-party interpretation of trade somehow gets to rule it is the definition of tyranny. What you're seeing here is economic tyranny. Donald Trump, bureaucrats in Washington have no business in third-party interpretation of trade entered to by private parties. Period.
March 2002, you remember, wasn't that long ago. George W. Bush, 30% tariff on Chinese steel.
How'd that work?
In a report put out by the Consuming Industries Trade Action Coalition in February of that year, the coalition found that the tariffs against China boosted the overall prices of steel and cost the U.S. 200,000 jobs in businesses that buy steel, representing $4 billion in lost wages. Because, as Wall Street Journal makes the point, the number of people employed in steel-using industries is about 60x the number of people employed in the steel-making industry in this country.
It's downriver. And here's the other thing, Dan. You're not arguing with me. You're not arguing with Hayek or
he's passed on.
You're not arguing with people. You're arguing with fact. You're arguing with reality. This is not an experiment where we don't know what's going to happen. You're so arrogant and so conceited that you think under this guy it'll work this time.
The Peterson Institute for International Economics study of the tariffs on steel in the 1980s found that it resulted in consumer losses of $1 million for every U.S., which is $2.26 million in today's dollars, that much money for every U.S. steel job saved. Is that a good trade-off? Derek in Wisconsin, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I don't know what's happened with our society. We're supposed to be in the age of information, yet we totally lose our minds, and forget about 15 years ago the Bush steel tariffs and how destructive and disastrous those were.
That's right.
What are we doing here? And Sean brought up a good point about the infrastructure stimulus that is supposedly coming down the pipeline. I've got friends in the crane operating sector. They build bridges, literally build bridges.
Right.
And you said it best. 60 times more people work downline in the steel industry than the steel making. So I don't understand the short-sightedness. I really don't.
Thanks for the call, Derek. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but let me explain what I think the short-sightedness is. It's not short-sightedness. It's populism. And we've talked about populism a lot with respect to President Trump. Populism can go a lot of different directions because it's unprincipled. It's appealing to people's passions and fears rather than things like sound economics. And so this doesn't surprise me, which is why I'm not going to get overheated about. Trump telegraphed it, but it's an opportunity for essentially a bit of a teachable moment, considering we've been down this road, as Derek has said, time and time again. Every 10 or 12 or 20 years, you get another populist that comes along that wants to make the same appeal on the same basis and produces the same disastrous results. And speaking of disastrous results, yesterday, market dropped 400 points on the news. Here's something interesting, though. This comes to us from our friend Mark Perry at Carpe Diem to illustrate the point of tariffs being sort of a backdoor form of corporate welfare. GM's market cap yesterday dropped 4%. Boeing's 3.5%. Ford 3%. The S&P 1.3% negative. So the steel users, aluminum users, right? The market cap of U.S. Steel increased by 5.8%.
You said
mercantilism,
but you called it populism, and I think they hide behind that because it's not. It's protectionism.
Well, okay.
And
protectionism as an instrument of populism.
Dan, protectionism is the death rattle of a nation. Every nation that implements it, and they're all out there. Venezuela was the last, and look at where it leads. Jesse Livermore said it best. He stood on his desk and he tried to look at the back wall because he wanted to see the whole picture. Trump is making policies too close to the tree to see the forest. Well, this has ramifications that will be devastating.
Yeah, I think I don't. You know, the whole thing that he doesn't know. Oh, they don't know what they're doing. They do know what they're doing. They do know what they're doing. Oh, these politicians, they can't balance a checkbook. They can. Do you understand? They know what they're doing. It's just that their ends are not the same as yours.
Yeah, Wilbur Ross.
Their ends are not. Forget Wilbur Ross. I'm talking about a political ruling class that wants to be in power. Their ends are the power, and so you manipulate people that will continue to leave you in power. Have you seen Base Camp here with respect to what I'm talking about? The best illustration in the country right here in Chicago and Illinois. So I don't concede the notion that they don't know what they're doing. Like nobody knows about the impact of the Bush 2002 steel tariffs or Reagan's car quotas or Smoot. They know. I mean, the butcher, baker, and candlestick maker. Come on. This is 240 years. Okay? And it's not comparative advantage is not a complicated concept. There's a lot of smart people walking around who know, and there's a lot of smart people. They're devious people because smart people can also be treacherous, something else people don't seem to fully internalize. In the halls of power, they're manipulating. They're not ignorant.
It's a corruption stimulus.
Pete in Crete, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Hi, Pete.
And my point is that on its face, if everything was equal, your points, I agree with you for the most part. But first of all, let's look at the top two importers that are in the NAFTA. Canada and Mexico. Canada's number 1, Mexico's number 4 with steel. And we're trying to renegotiate that trade agreement. So the way I see it is something like this is more of a trading negotiating tool.
It's not a negotiation.
It's something you can leverage. The main reason I see that is because you can waive this tariff on a bilateral basis. So it's not necessarily going to apply to all these countries. For one, I would be really surprised if you saw this tariff actually apply to much at all at the end of the day.
You think this is just a temporary negotiating?
Look at the solar industry. We just put a tariff there on China, and now there were 2 announcements where they're going to start manufacturing solar plants here. So I think some of it's bartering.
Yeah, and so you think this is just him proving up that he's serious, and then he'll rescind the tariffs that he's advanced.
I know that some people think it's a little bit interventionist, and perhaps it is. But on the other hand, you got to remember a lot of these other countries we're trading with, and not so much Canada. That's why I said I don't think it's going to apply across the board at the end of the day. But so these countries, like I put in fire alarms, security alarms. These countries don't have the regulations we do.
Well, I know
safety regulations, and so it's not. I know.
It's not about regulations. It's about unions.
Well, but Pete, let me ask you this, just kind of.
I'm not anti-union, so I'm not advocating a union from a union point of view either.
Unions.
Let me ask you this though: does it make sense if other countries punish their consumers or pick one industry over another? Does it make sense that we should do the same thing?
Good. That's an excellent question, and on its face, I think there's an amount of give and take. In other words, am I willing to pay a little more for beer because if I drink a canned beer?
Yeah.
In the interest of trying to
America first.
If there's overarching interests, yes, to an extent. See, the American people will rise up and rebel against this. If ultimately it ends up hurting people, believe me, you're right. And in some cases in the past, tariffs were overused or just blanketed, and they actually hurt us. So, but there's also plenty of tariffs. I mean, we didn't have anything but tariffs and excise taxes until the income tax amendment, the 14th Amendment.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's how the federal government got its revenue for many years.
Thanks for the call, Pete. I appreciate that. I mean, Pete's a reasonable guy. I get what he's saying.
But it's not if. And Pete's choice to pay more for something because he wants to support America is not the argument for consumerism. Okay? There are people who can't pay more for something because they want to. The people of Walmart who shop at Walmart have been massive benefactors of trade. Okay? We as a society are built on trade. Trade is not open for third-party negotiation. It is only open for a hostile takeover by a government in the name of control.
How much do you think the American Dreamer hat that Trump is selling on his campaign site, his online campaign store, how much do you think it would cost if it was made of aluminum? You know, like that hat that V. Stiviano that used to wear.
Yeah.
Donald Sterling's girlfriend.
Sure, that's a good look.
I like that. That kind of that welder look.
Mm-hmm, I like it.
That could be something.
American workers.
American worker.
There you go.
There's another hat.
Bingo. How about willfully ignorant?
I don't think so many people will buy that hat.
Oh, but they are. They just don't know it.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
All right. Today, it's going to move 18 degrees from 28 up to 46, and it's going to be mostly sunny. Good for all you people who washed your car late last night. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 47. Low tomorrow night, down to 29. Sunday, Prof's going to bring back that snap hook he likes to work on the golf course. Sunshine, high of 51, low 36. Now it's time for Jim Talamonte, who dresses like Dick Tracy for some reason.
Good morning, Sean. And good morning, Dan. Friday, we've got a closure in Waukegan of Sunset Avenue. Delaware Road in Lewis, crash there. Outbound Ryan. Got a wreck which is causing big delays starting around Cermak. The local lanes are closed from Stevenson to 31st because of this mess. The trucks and all the traffic diverted to the express lanes. Now again, the jam starts around Cermak. Inbound, there are gapers starting around 47th. 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. Mission Forward, though, just a 2-minute delay. Cottage Grove to the merge. Delay on northbound Lakeshore Drive from Stevenson to 43rd where there's a crash blocking 2 right lanes. Eden's fine. Kennedy, 25 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Up on 21. The Eisenhower, 35 minutes, 390 to downtown. Up on 30. Stevenson, 46 minutes, 355 to the drive. Tollway still good. Northwest Indiana, wide open. Jim Talamonte and the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Convenience, confidence, value. Experience all three when you bring your European vehicle to Midwest Performance Cars for maintenance and repair. BMW, Porsche, Audi, Mercedes. We make it convenient for you. Our drop-off procedure has most customers on their way in under 5 minutes, and we feature complimentary Uber or Lyft service to get you where you need to be. With our tablet-based digital inspections, you'll be confident that we only recommend service your car needs. We email or text your vehicle's condition report with pictures and video so you can make an informed decision. And our 3-year, 100,000-mile parts and labor warranty provides unmatched value. We perform outstanding service and we stand behind it. Read our Google reviews and see for yourself. In Chicago at 1385 West Lake Street, book your appointment online at MidwestPerformanceCars.com or call us at 312-432-9492. And coming this summer, we will be opening our second MPC location in Northbrook, Illinois.
Boss, there's a photographer out here who wants to do a piece on Jimmy John's for her magazine.
What kind of piece?
Well, she heard about a clothing optional delivery policy and...
Did you tell her the naked driver incident was a momentary misunderstanding?
Yes, sir, but...
Did you tell her it's our meats that are going all natural, not our drivers?
Yes, sir, that's not...
Did you tell her Jimmy John's is committed to serving sandwiches with only the finest all-natural ham, roast beef, salami, bacon, and real fresh turkey breast?
Yes, sir, I did, sir.
So she wants to photograph our sandwiches?
No, sir. Actually, she wants to do a calendar.
A what?
A calendar. You know, the men of Jimmy John's.
Dibs on January.
People make your business work. But how do you find the right talent? ZipRecruiter. One click posts your job to over 100 top job boards. Then, smart matching technology instantly alerts quality candidates about your job. No wonder 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
To try ZipRecruiter for free, just go to ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because of my wife has been taking mine because she sees the difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Career politicians put jobs in Mexico ahead of jobs in Muncie, jobs in Beijing ahead of Bloomington. And when our jobs disappeared, the insiders sat on their hands and did nothing. Businessman and outsider Mike Braun is running for U.S. Senate to bring Indiana jobs back. Family man, businessman, Christian, Mike Braun created hundreds of jobs here in Indiana. As Senator, Mike Braun will help pass President Trump's agenda. Braun will repeal Obamacare once and for all, defund dangerous sanctuary cities, and finally build the wall. And Mike Braun will protect the right to life and stand up for our values. No more career politicians. Businessman, outsider, conservative. We need Mike Braun in the United States Senate. He puts Indiana and America first.
I'm Mike Braun, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
True story. So I urged one of my family members to call CertaPro Painters. He didn't do it, and that painting crew had to come back 3 times to fix their awful, sloppy mistakes, even paint on the floor, if you can believe it. Well, with CertaPro Painters, you get the best in the business. The attention to detail, color selection is truly unmatched. And now is the perfect time to get the interior of your home or business painted. The lower humidity provides an ideal environment for great coverage and quick drying times. They use fine quality paints with 0 or low VOCs, very little to no odor during application. Be an early bird and cross the first item off your 2018 to-do list. It's also the perfect time to spruce up your commercial property. Remember, each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated, so schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. That's CERTA with the C. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Napa know-how. Hey, I'm Chase Elliott, driver of the number 9 Napa Chevy. Here to tell you that when you spend $25 at Napa this month, you'll get a free number 9 Napa racing cap. So whether you're a fan of drivers with fast cars or just a fan of keeping the sun out of your eyes, you'll get a free number 9 racing cap just for spending $25 at Napa. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. Napa know-how. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Offer expires 3/31/18.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, what are you doing up here on the roof? I want to tell the world I just met the woman of my dreams. What about you? I want to tell the world that Liberty Mutual saved me $782. Liberty did what? They saved me $782. Oh, you go first then. $782 really puts finding love into perspective.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Sean from Elmwood Park in for Amy, and we're talking about Trump's tariff play and whether or not that makes sense. And one argument that's advanced by proponents of tariffs is particularly for certain industries like steel, national security. We need domestic production of these goods. We can't rely on foreign production of commodities like steel because that endangers our national security for the raw materials we need to build planes and military hardware and the like. That's one argument that's made. How do you respond to that?
Well, there's not a constant need for, you don't have to constantly, we don't throw the planes out. We don't throw the ships out. You have a 600 fleet ship, we're only using 300. So at every level, you can point to the fact that it's through the management of already acquired assets that the benefit would be in. And the other thing that it does is it doesn't allow our companies to run efficiently. When you protect them, they can cut bad deals. They can have mismanagement. They can overspend on insurance, on union contracts. This is what protectionism is about. It is about protecting that third layer of bureaucracy known as unions.
The other thing I would suggest is it's very difficult to keep a cartel together. Very difficult to keep a cartel together because there's an incentive to cheat. And so that concern about the national security argument, I don't think is a very compelling one. Lorraine in East Chicago, Indiana. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, I just want to tell you guys that these steel mills are going to go out of business, and we're not going to have any steel mills. And when that happens, because they can't make any money under the current conditions, when that happens, do you think the steel they're bringing over here now that they're dumping on us, the price is going to skyrocket? Wow. That's the whole strategy.
So we're going to
put us out of business,
Lorraine,
and then they're going to jack the price.
You're ignoring the fundamentals of capitalism.
Wait a second. So we're going to.
They did it with the Coke. They did it with the Coke. We used to get real cheap Chinese Coke, and then they put all the Coke plants out of business. And after that happened, the price of Coke went through the roof.
All right, thanks for the call, Lorraine. So
Coke put Coke out of business.
So they're going to put the steel mills in the U.S. out of business, and then they're going to come in and jack the prices up. So what we're going to do to preempt that is jack the prices up.
It's great. Wasn't it Coke Zero that put Coke out of business? Dummies.
Mike on the north side.
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I have a question. Why are tariffs bad? Tariffs bad if they protect finished goods, but they're great for raw materials? Case in point, sugar. The sugar industry's been protected for decades, and all that did was drive the higher-paying manufacturing jobs in candy and cookies that Chicago was a leader in out of the country.
Yeah.
There's another thing it did.
In order to save a couple of farming jobs for Homer and Jethro, the working class of Chicago was wiped out. And if this is so bad that we have to have tariffs on sugar, why is it okay to have all our fruit and our bananas and our vegetables brought in from Chile every winter? You can't have it both ways. Protect certain industries and other ones you let die.
That's a good point, Mike. Thanks for the call, and that's the whole nature of it.
It made the sugar lobby one of the biggest political donors in the country. And ask Marco Rubio.
That's why it's so hard to get rid of these subsidy programs, these price support programs. Anthony in Plainfield.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to point out that our electronics industry, that pretty much founded in the United States 25, 30 years, has almost entirely moved to Asia as far as all the critical major subcomponents that comprise your cell phone, our telecommunications devices. So I'd warn against taking a real hard line on tariffing, because if Asia decides to shut down the electronic component exports to the West, we're in some big, big trouble strategically and economically.
All right. Thanks for the call, Anthony. Coming up at 6:36, we should raise the age required to purchase a weapon, but lower it to vote? Question mark. We'll discuss that. But now we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
In Chicago, we have mostly clear skies, a beautiful moon in the west this morning as sunrise begins to paint the east at 6:31. Millions of Americans along the East Coast won't see the sun today. They're getting ready for a monster storm that's going to blow in today. Forecasters say the storm's packing drenching rain, heavy snow, howling winds, and high waves. Tens of thousands of Californians are evacuating ahead of a storm that could set off flash flooding and mudslides in areas devastated by slides earlier this year. According to President Trump, trade wars are good, one day after announcing the U.S. would soon slap tariffs on imported steel and aluminum.
Bad trade deals by other countries. They've been horribly treated by other countries, and they have not been properly represented.
Meantime, an investor group says it's reached a $500 million deal to buy the company once run by disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein, saving the company from bankruptcy. The late Billy Graham is being laid to rest today. A spokesman for Graham's organization says dignitaries across the world will attend that ceremony.
More than 2,000 guests are expected to attend the funeral, including family, friends, dignitaries, and more than 100 international delegates from 50 countries.
A private service for the renowned preacher will be held at noon Eastern Time on the grounds of his library in Charlotte. Here in Chicago, two are dead following a fire on the west side. The blaze breaking out early this morning in an apartment building near West Chicago and Laramie Avenues. A group of former Cook County jail commanders is suing Sheriff Tom Dart and other county leaders. The suit, filed this week, claims Dart fired high-ranking jail officers as payback for trying to join a union. Bail set at $100,000 for a Chicago man accused of driving at an Elmhurst police officer this week. Byron Otterbury faces multiple charges, including aggravated assault of a police officer. Today is National Read Across America Day, or as some call it, Dr. Seuss Day. It's a day to celebrate books. Schools across the country will host special guests and events to try and get kids excited about reading. One and done for Northwestern in the Big Ten basketball tournament. Wildcats lost to Penn State 65-57. Missouri Valley Conference tournament continues today. Quarterfinals at the Scott Trade Center in St. Louis. And Loyola, with Coach of the Year Porter Moser, squaring off with Northern Iowa. Blackhawks no match for the Sharks in a 7-2 loss. The news, a service of Lowe's. Hurry into Lowe's and learn how to save 10% when you use your Lowe's credit card on March 2nd and 3rd. Subject to credit approval. See store or Lowe's.com for details. U.S. only. 6:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager is skeptical about a show of weaponry.
To have a Salute the Military parade in Washington, there will be a major display of weaponry. I'm emoting. I admit it. We don't need a military parade down Washington. Salute the military. Yeah, the people.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Progressive Insurance, offering Snapshot, a device that adjusts insurance rates based on safe driving habits. Now that's Progressive. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Sean Hannity is right. IRS problems can be devastating. I'm attorney Stephen Leahy, host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard right here on this station every Sunday evening at 5 o'clock. And I help business owners, 1099 employees, and those with unfiled tax returns solve their IRS problems. I know you want a local attorney you could look in the eye and hold accountable for solving your IRS problem, not some big box outfit without a Chicago connection. So if you fear the IRS will take your money, bank account, wages, or visit your home or job, and now they can take your passport, you need to hire me to solve your IRS problem for good. Today, I have a special bonus. If you are one of the first 25 to call and hire me to solve your IRS problem, we will prepare your 2017 tax returns for free. Call me, attorney Stephen Leahy, your Chicago IRS answer man at 312-664-6649. Again, that's 312-664-6649. One more time, 312-664-6649. Or visit us on the web at chicagotaxteam.com. Don't wait. Call me now and get the IRS out of your business and your life for good.
6:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Michael. Less than a day after a major wreck on the Eisenhower. We've got one on the outbound Ryan. This is near 31st Street. All local lanes are blocked because of a nasty wreck. All traffic diverts to the express lanes. The jam starts around Cermak. Inbound, there are gapers. The delays start around 43rd. 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. Locals actually look a little better on the inbound side. Eden's 24 minutes, Lake Hook to the junction. Outbound fine at 19. Kennedy, 31 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 13 from Montrose, 10 on the express. Outbound 23 minutes to O'Hare. The Eisenhower. A crash before York Road, inbound at the left lane. Delays start at 83. Then it's slow Manheim to Harlem. 48 minutes, 390 to downtown. 30 from Manheim. Outbound 32 minutes, 390. Stevenson jam from before Harlem to the Ryan. The ramp to the Ryan is jammed, and there's also a crash at Harlem in the right lane. Looking at an hour, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound, it's clear. Bishop Ford, just 17 minutes, 80-94 to the merge. Traffic service of Walgreens. Looking to save money on your Medicare Part D prescriptions? As a preferred pharmacy, Walgreens offers copays as low as $0 on Tier 1 generics on select plans. Switch your prescriptions and start saving today. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Sunny and 46 today, clear and 28 overnight, currently 31. Next news coming up at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Real Estate Revealed with Randy Barcella, Sunday mornings starting at 8.
Hey, Joe Walsh here. Looks like the Senate and the House aren't going to do anything about guns. That is great news. We'll talk about it when freedom returns at 5.
Good morning, Dan. And in for Amy this morning is Sean from Elmwood Park. And Sean, I know we were talking about tariffs. We got, let's take a couple more calls, but I want to get to this whole age-setting business, since that's been so central to the discussion about guns over the last, 10 days since the Parkland High School shooting. But talking Trump's 25% steel tariff, 10% aluminum tariff, good policy, bad policy. Steve and Huntley, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, guys. Great show. Well, I used to call on the steel mills, and I got to tell you, with all the regulations, the environmental regulations that have been put in place, these guys have done an amazing job of producing steel and still be competitive with all these regulations that the incoming imported steel doesn't have to go through. These guys are unsung heroes. You talk about guys who eat nails for lunch. That's their appetizers. These guys have done a miracle doing what they did.
Well, here's the thing I would say, Steve. I agree with that. And once upon a time, 20 years ago, I worked for the state, and I managed a grant program for small to mid-sized manufacturing companies for worker training and retraining and so forth, a big training on big capital purchases and so forth. And so part of that process, that application process, was to do a site visit, talk to the senior leadership of the company and so forth. And so it was great exposure for me, as with no background in manufacturing, to see how all these different manufacturers, how they work, what they produce. I mean, it's fantastic. It gave me really a newfound respect. And so I agree with you about the nature of those businesses, about steel workers, about the entrepreneurs in the manufacturing sector. But the disagreement is over what the response should be to allow them to be more competitive. Should it be protectionism in the form of tariffs, or it should be deregulation so that they're obviously still safe operators, but they're not facing redundancies from the alphabet soup of federal and state regulatory agencies in a way that, as you suggest, our foreign competitors don't?
Well, I think they'd just be looking for a fair playing field.
Here's the other
thing.
If
I could.
Well, here's what's fair.
Go ahead, Steve. Let's see. Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, and just to wrap it up, I'd just like to give a shout out to one of those guys, Charlie Totten at Bethlehem Steel. He's really a great guy.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the call, Steve. Appreciate it.
And to Steve's point, here's the thing that no one's talking about. The highest production, the amount of steel manufactured in America since 1969 took place in what year?
2017.
Yeah, because I showed you. He had to cheat, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, 2017. So last year is the highest production since 1969, yet we've bought this propaganda that they're getting killed and we need a tariff. This is about political payoffs and price protection to political contributors. That's it.
Yeah, that's absurd. Okay. This is not. This is not all the money that Trump received from U.S. steel employees. This is a payoff that's absurd.
That politicians will receive.
That's ridiculous. It is market positioning. That's what this is. And, of course, one of the conversations that's difficult to have is automation in manufacturing, where some of these jobs are never going to come back, no matter how much you protect them. But this is Trump's market positioning, consistent with his market positioning as a candidate for president. This has nothing to do with a few shekels from the steel industry in terms of the grand scheme of political financing. Come on.
It's also to the false support of the American worker. You can wrap this corruption in patriotism, and people eat it up like cheap soup. That's what it is.
Pam in Brookfield.
No.
Pam in Brookfield says no.
Yes.
All right.
I just say go, Donnie, go, go, go.
There you go.
I think that this is about import and export. And I say that this tariff on importing is going to make us export. How do we export? More people are going to work to export. We should export. There should be a taxation on things that we're importing. We're comfortable, and we'll get food stamps. We don't have to work. I think it will instill a hope, and it sounds awful. It sounds like but it's going to be what stirs up.
Thank you, Mrs.
Those
Maduro.
that won't go back.
Yeah.
Thanks for the call, Pam. Take it easy.
Well, I mean, it's so ridiculous because people, it's ignorance to the strength of your currency. I give you this dirty paper, and you give me a product I want at cheaper than I could buy anywhere else. The exporting happens. This mythical fair trade that lives in the homes of Brookfield isn't the reality of actual capitalism and business. The fair trade happens when I give you dirty paper called money, and you give me a product I want at what I deem to be value.
Ralph and Rantoul.
Yeah, good morning. Dan, I think, this approach of the production possibilities frontier, free trade is good for everybody, which is true. The problem that we end up dealing with, and that I think Trump is disrupting, causing problems, is that tariffs are a way to protect your own industry. And in our country, there's a big concentration of steel producing here in Northwest Indiana, in our region, and probably in Ohio. And so, Pete Visklosky, who is the congressman for the 1st District over there in Northwest Indiana, he's like the prince of tariffs. He's always trying to do that. Mostly it's so that his sorry carcass can stay in office. But in the end, the protectionism, the tariffs hurt customers. All tariffs are taxes, and all taxes are paid by consumers. And the 25% on steel and the 10% on aluminum, in the end, we're all going to pay higher product prices for them. And will they really protect the industries here that they're intended to? Probably not. In the end, we'll end up just seeing higher prices for a while. We tried to protect ourselves from South Korea when South Korea was doing dumping. But right now there's a global glut in steel manufacturing capacity, and everybody's fighting to stay alive. What keeps our carcasses alive is not the suckwad, overly high-paid union wages. It's really an increase in productivity. If we weren't more automated than the other countries, we'd be out of business long ago.
Thanks, Ralph.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
All right, it's a beautiful morning. It really is very nice. I love it when the sun comes up like this. Mostly sunny, high 46. Tonight it's going to go back down to 28. Tomorrow, high 47. Low tomorrow night, 29. Sunday, Proft is fading into the woods. It's 51. Little sun. Now we're going to go to Jim Telemonte. Where is that guy from Oak Park in the Prius that refuses to go right on red? Where is he?
Sean, good morning. Good morning, Dan. We got a lot of standing still on the Purple Line right now at Howard. Linden-bound trains or northbound, outbound trains are stopped. It's a mechanical problem. West side of Chicago Avenue still closed between Latrobe and near Laramie after an early morning fire. The outbound Ryan is a mess due to a major wreck, which has the local lanes closed at 31st. Big jam starts around Cermak. All traffic moves to the Express. Inbound, Gapers delays start before 35th. 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, only with a 2-minute delay inbound Cottage Grove to the Verge. Delays on northbound Lakeshore Drive. Hyde Park Boulevard to 43rd, where a crash is cleared out of the way. Eden's 24 minutes, Lake Cook to the Junction. Kennedy, 31 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. The Ike has delays. 83 to before York, the crash in the left lane. Then Manheim to Harlem. 49 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson an hour, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Crash at Harlem in the right lane. Ramp, Ryan jammed. Northbound Tri-State heavy approaching 290. Jim Telemonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Georgia lawmakers targeting Delta, retaliating for its anti-gun stance. Uber wants to drive you to the doctor, and Equifax has found new victims of last year's data breach. Those stories next.
Hey, this is Ricky from Banyan Hill. You like freedom? I do. You like money? I do too. If you like freedom and money, then you're going to love Freedom Checks. You see, over the next few months, an estimated $34.6 billion is up for grabs to anyone who stakes their claim. Yep, you heard that right, $34.6 billion. To get all the details, just go to www.myfreedomchecks.com. Thousands of people are already lined up to cash in. Take Doug, for example. He's a 46-year-old from Joplin, Missouri, who's set to get a check for $24,075. And if Doug can do this, I've got a hunch that you can too. But here's the thing. If you want the chance to grab your full fair share of this $34.6 billion payout, you must have your ducks in a row by April 1st. So don't wait. Get over to www.myfreedomchecks.com before the April 1st deadline. That's www.myfreedomchecks.com.
The Georgia State Senate has approved a sweeping tax bill that strips a jet fuel tax break for Delta Airlines after the carrier cut ties with the National Rifle Association. The House needs to agree before it goes to the governor for his signature. Ride-hailing company Uber teaming up with healthcare organizations to offer transportation for medical appointments, advanced bookings possible even without a smartphone. Equifax today announcing it's found another 2.4 million victims who were affected by last year's data breach. This latest group had only their names and a partial driver's license number stolen. And more indications on the strength of the economy, we'll have the Consumer Confidence Report today. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Picture your son in 10 years. What kind of man do you hope to see? I know you want your son to be a man of character. It's Dan Proft, and I urge you to consider Northridge Prep, ranked the #1 best all-boys school in Illinois for 2 years running, and a top 100 high school in America from U.S. News. Don't miss their open house on March 25th. Northridge Prep is an independent Catholic school for boys in grades 6 through 12 located in Niles. There's no brainwashing that's prevalent elsewhere. They instill the traditional values that you hold as parents. Northridge Prep is all boys with an all-male faculty. They celebrate your son's natural enthusiasm and energy. It's a good place to be a boy. Every teacher is a great role model who gets to the hearts of their students. Their demanding liberal arts curriculum produces well-rounded men with the ability to think for themselves. Grads go on to the best universities, including the Ivy League, and have top athletics and arts programs. I strongly encourage you to attend Northridge Prep's open house on March 25th. To learn more, visit northridgeprep.org. That's northridgeprep.org.
Looking to refinance your existing mortgage and want the lowest rates and lowest closing costs? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Other lenders boast about having low closing costs, which is like me saying I look good in a pair of 32-inch pants. Truth is, other lenders' closing costs are substantially higher than Team Hochberg's closing costs, and I haven't fit into a pair of 32-inch pants in over 40 years. Compare Team Hochberg's closing costs against any other lenders, and if our closing costs aren't lower, I'll donate to Veterans Roasters, an organization who hires homeless veterans to roast coffee, and an organization Team Hochberg already financially supports. When securing a mortgage, you can either work with a lender whose definition of low closing costs are over $1,000 higher than ours, or you can call Team Hochberg now at 312-751-1333. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
Did you know that studies have shown that we need over 10 servings of fruits and veggies every single day? If you're like me, it's hard to find the time and money to prepare and eat all of those fruits and vegetables. Who can do that? Yet we know that proper nutrition can prevent health problems, give us energy, and help us heal faster. Balance of Nature has spent over 20 years researching and delivering solutions to this problem. We can ensure that you consume over 30 different fruits and veggies every single day. Our capsules are filled with 100% real whole foods. There isn't a single thing added to Balance of Nature products. They're pure. We spent an incredible amount of time on the quality of our products. We do this for you. We do it for our own families. Give yourself a break and give your body what it needs. Call now to receive 35% off your first Balance of Nature order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Message and data rates may apply.
Here's something I bet you didn't know about prescription drugs. You could be paying a lot less for your family's medications, up to 80% less, even less than your Medicare or insurance copay. How? With GoodRx. See, GoodRx compares prices of every FDA-approved drug at pharmacies in your area and offers free downloadable coupons, so you get the best deals on all your medications. You'd be surprised to see just how much the prices can differ. In fact, last year alone, GoodRx saved Americans over $2 billion on their medications. Imagine paying even less than your insurance copay. Plus, GoodRx can sometimes find your medications for free. There are never any fees, and no personal information is ever required. Stop paying too much for your prescriptions and save up to 80% instantly by texting the word GoodRx to 99,000 for automated text messages from GoodRx. Or go to GoodRx.com. Text GoodRx to 99,000. Save today. Text GOODRX to 99000.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Guns have no moral agency. Predators hurt and kill people. Often they use a gun. Good guys protect people. Often they use a gun. When a predator kills with a gun, he is rightly called a monster. When a good guy with a gun fails to protect people, he's rightly called a coward. The very nature of the way we discuss an atrocity like the Parkland school shooting conveys our understanding that it's bad guys and good guys who are responsible for what they do and not the instrumentality they use in their conduct. So arguing that the response to the deadly success of the shooter and the failure of the deputy sheriff is to reduce the number of good guys and their instrumentality choices does not logically follow from the accepted premise. And neither does the failure of state agencies locally and federally to exercise the power they currently possess make the case for expanding their power at the expense of our rights. No amount of emergency planning or algorithmic modeling or government power can replace the variety of human judgment calls that will be thrust upon a free people. The question then isn't what's in my holster, it's what's in my head and my heart.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan, and in for Amy this morning, unfortunately, is Sean from Elmwood Park. Sean, let me see if you can help me on something. You have 2 daughters.
Yes, I do.
This whole obsession with age requirements, because it's, it's all for the kids. We gotta protect the kids or people will die.
Yeah. So when they go to college, let's make them perpetual victims.
So here, I want to understand the age requirement. So we're supposed to raise the age. That's why it's difficult to keep track. Raise the age to purchase a rifle. Mm-hmm. We're supposed to lower it to vote. And we're supposed to raise it to play tackle football.
Nice.
It's difficult to keep track. You know about the suggestion to raise the gun purchasing age to 21 or higher. November 2013, voters in Tacoma Park, Maryland, made history. The city became the first place in the United States to grant 16 and 17-year-olds the right to vote in local elections. Since then, Hyattsville, another suburb of D.C., has followed the example. And something surprisingly wonderful happened when they did this, Sean.
What happened?
The consequence of lowering the age of voting in those communities was their parents became more active voters.
Ooh.
And the children shall lead us.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the fact that all children are socialists. They're raised that way. They simply wiggle their nose and wish for it, and mommy, daddy gives it to them, which is why it's the perfect avenue for the Democrats to take. Let's lower the age to 10. Most of their economic philosophies are the same as Bernie Sanders, and the idea that there's a magic tree out there that just gives everybody everything, well, they're all in. It's perfect.
The other thing that it does, though, lowering the voting age, 16, 17-year-olds. I mean, maybe, keep going. They become more habitual voters.
Sure.
They're more likely to vote in subsequent elections because they've been socialized at an earlier age. Apparently that a year or two makes a significant difference, at least according to one study that was published and written about by a professor in political science at the Copenhagen Business School there in Denmark.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about that?
Well, everything Scandinavian is great. I've been paying attention.
What do you think about lowering the voting age?
I don't think it would make a difference. You want to save America? Make it so you have to pass an IQ test to vote. Ta-da!
IQ or is it about intelligence or is it about engagement? In other words, do you need to know what's going on or do you have to be able to do a long division?
Well, how about instead of an IQ test because it's too arbitrary, why don't we make it a Constitution test?
All right.
So you got to pass the Constitution test.
Pass the Constitution
in 8th grade. If you can't pass an 8th grade test, you're too dangerous to drive, let alone vote.
And if you pass the Constitution test, then you can vote as a 14-year-old.
Bingo. I'm fine with it.
All right.
And here's another thing. Any politician random drug testing. I think two rules, I don't want to call them laws, 2 new rules will fix the country overnight. Pass a Constitution test, and politicians drug tested.
Can I offer a friendly amendment for a third rule?
Why not?
Restricting children, particularly in Illinois, under the age of 12 from playing tackle football. That's moving through the General Assembly now. So you can't play tackle football under 12. You can vote over 16, or in Sean's rule, 14. You can't purchase a weapon until you're 21. Boy, it's amazing to me. It always impresses me, really, how the political ruling class, the superior humans with the great insight into the human condition that, kind of the hoi polloi like me does not have, they always know precisely what the right cutoffs are.
Well, Dan, they have trust funds and bodyguards.
They know precisely what the right cutoffs are. At this age, it's this. At that age, it's that. At this age, it can't be the other. Aren't you impressed by them?
I really am, and it really makes you realize that you are simply a serf. You're a servant to guys like J.B. Pritzker, who've never done anything but have all the answers, except exactly how many feet he could fit in his belly button. That's the one thing he doesn't have the answer to.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm just, I can't keep track of this all, which is, it's always a difficult thing when there's arbitrary lawmaking going on and keeping track of it all. But that's why I appreciate the J.B. Pritzkers of the world, who are more enlightened than I am, to set these standards, set these age requirements, and move them around as their insights are sharpened, and to improve society in the process.
How about the J.B. Pritzker tariff on McDonald's for fat people? I think it would be good for insurance. See, once you go down this road, you tie it all together, it's all for everybody's own good. I'm starting to like it.
I'm not sure how the tariff got into the age thing, but I guess the arbitrary rulemaking is the point there. Okay, all right, coming up at 7:07, we're going to talk tariffs and all things economic with CNBC contributor Jim Urio. But now we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
Outside, we have clear skies and a beautiful day ahead. A deadly crash shuts down the Eisenhower Expressway. Investigators continue probing that accident while a taxi driver is accused of sexually abusing a passenger on the north side. Cook County forming a task force to combat funeral violence. Price of a train ticket takes center stage at a Democrat gubernatorial debate, and an Illinois House panel okays a youth tackle football ban. Sunny and 46 today. WIND Chicago News Time 7.
The NRA says President Trump doesn't want gun control. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
He could show real leadership by bucking the NRA.
Democratic Senate Leader Chuck Schumer, but last night, President Trump sat down with top executives from the gun rights group. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, there are signs President Trump could be changing course on guns. Chris Cox, executive director of the NRA's Institute for Legislative Action, tweeted that the president and vice president support the Second Amendment, strong due process, and don't want gun control. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders says the president does want stronger background checks, and
he is looking for ways that we can improve the mental health system so that we can take guns away from people that shouldn't have them.
Earlier this week, the president appeared to embrace a number of Democratic proposals on gun control. Dave?
Rachel, the president tweeted this morning, trade wars are good and easy to win.
I think he's being misguided. And
the president announced he put a 25% tariff on steel imports, 10% for aluminum. There's strong reaction around the world. Fox's Simon Owen is live in London.
Dave, Germany saying a trade war would be in nobody's interest. Chancellor Angela Merkel's spokesperson saying President Trump risks starting a trade conflict with America's closest allies. A robust response also from Canada, the biggest supplier of steel and aluminum to the US. That government saying it would take responsive measures to defend its workers. China says the US should show restraint in using trade protection tools. Stock markets in Europe and Asia trading down amid concerns about a trade war. Dave?
And Simon, futures down big on Wall Street today after a 420-point Dow plunge. It's stormy in the Northeast. Some areas could get 2 feet of snow.
Flood warnings all along the coastline where it's going to be too warm for that snow event.
Fox meteorologist Janice Dean in California and Santa Barbara County. People are evacuating, fearing heavy rain could trigger mudslides like in January when at least 21 people were killed. Fox News, fair and balanced.
In Chicago, sunshine and right now 31 degrees. 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Scott. Authorities are investigating the cause of a deadly fire on Chicago's west side. Chicago Fire Department tells us the blaze started early this morning in an apartment building near West Chicago and Laramie. One person died and others sent to Mount Sinai Hospital. A firefighter is also hospitalized with a minor injury. One person is dead, several others hurt, and the investigation continues into a massive crash on the Eisenhower Expressway near Elmhurst yesterday afternoon. One driver was killed. 3 drivers were hospitalized. All eastbound lanes of the 290 extension were closed for about 12 hours. A taxi driver is accused of sexually abusing and robbing a passenger last weekend on Chicago's north side and is due in bond court today. Mustafa Dickbas faces charges of aggravated criminal sexual abuse, kidnapping, and theft. Cook County Sheriff's Office is forming a task force to combat violence at cemeteries during funeral processions. Sheriff Tom Dart.
This has been something that has been escalating, I'd say, over the last 10 to 15 years, from where it was not much of a problem, where it was very isolated, to where now it occurs more frequently.
The formation of that task force comes after shots were fired last December from a moving vehicle during a funeral procession from Chicago to Hillside. Dan Biss doesn't know how much it costs to take the train to downtown Chicago. J.B. Pritzker doesn't know how much it costs to put kids in daycare. The price of everyday items became a major issue last night in a Democratic gubernatorial debate. Candidates for governor tried to show they're in touch with voters in their latest debate, but wrong answers by several candidates drew lots of jokes on social media. Cook County Assessor Joe Barrios under fire for skipping a hearing on his county property tax system. Instead, staff members from his office testified before the County Board Finance Committee. The hearing comes after a recent report concluded the county tax system tends to favor bigger tax breaks for wealthier homeowners. It's one and done for Northwestern in the Big Ten tournament. Cats lost to Penn State 65-57. Eastern Illinois fell out of the Ohio Valley Conference tournament. They had one early upset, but last night fell to Austin Peay 73-66. At the Scott Trade Center in St. Louis, it's the Missouri Valley Tournament, and a big one for Loyola and Coach of the Year Porter Moser. They square off with Northern Iowa today. The news service of Napa this month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores. You get a free Chase Elliott racing cap with a $25 purchase. While supplies last, that's Napa know-how. 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Hiring is important. People are what make your business work. But how do you find the right talent? ZipRecruiter makes it simple. One click sends your job ad to over 100 of the web's leading job boards. But ZipRecruiter doesn't stop there. Their smart matching technology will instantly alert quality candidates about your job. That means you'll start getting great candidates with the right experience almost as soon as your job is posted. No wonder 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. The right candidates are out there. This is how you find them. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
People from businesses of all sizes trust ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs. We're so confident ZipRecruiter will get you better results than anywhere else. We'll let you try it free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Jeannie Ives might be Mike Madigan's favorite Republican. The Madigan machine has bankrolled Ives with thousands of dollars in shady labor union cash, turning Jeannie Ives into another Mike Madigan lackey. Listen to Ives defend Madigan.
Now we're going to call Mike Madigan a crook. Now we're going to call Mike Madigan a crook.
Instead of attacking Madigan's corrupt ways like Bruce Rauner, Jeannie Ives defends Madigan.
He's picking on Mike Madigan again. He's picking on Mike Madigan again.
Ives won't even commit to immediate repeal of the Madigan income tax hike.
You need legislator approval to repeal that, obviously, so you'd have to have them decide to do that, to repeal it, right? I can't guarantee what the legislator is going to send me in the bill.
Jeannie Ives, guaranteed to defend and defer to Mike Madigan.
I don't think that's any way to deal with the powerful Speaker of the House, Mike Madigan.
Paid for by Citizens for Rauner, Inc.
What's on your mind right now? Is it, do I really want this donut?
Yes, you want that donut, and you want a muffin too. Now that I've mentioned donuts and muffins, I'm sure you're thinking about your body, specifically your stomach. Are there a few pounds that you wish you could lose? Maybe some inches? At Calitrin, we believe there is no right or wrong way to look. We desire to help everyone see the most beautiful version of themselves.
Hi, my name is Ann, and I've lost about 30 pounds, and it makes me sleep wonderful at night.
My name's Jason. I've lost over 40 pounds using Calitrin. It's helped me maintain my weight loss over a long period of time.
Not only is Calitrin proven to help people reach their weight loss and health goals, but with every purchase, you receive exclusive access to a team of healthcare professionals, coaches, and nutritionists to support you every step of the way. So stop letting your mind bully your body. Visit us on the web at toploss.com or call us at 1-833-TOP-LOSS. After all, your body loves you, so love it back.
7:08 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. In North Barrington, 59 is closed between 22 and Scott due to a crash. There's a major wreck on the outbound Ryan. At 31st, all local lanes are closed. Big jam starts at 18th Street. The inbound side has scattered delays starting really around the merge. It's 28 minutes 95th to downtown. Crash on the outbound Ryan is backing up the ramp from the inbound Stevenson. 58 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive on the Stevenson. Outbound 36. Eden's 22 minutes like Hookton Junction. Outbound 21. Kennedy 39 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 18 from Montrose. 14 on the Express. Outbound 29 to the airport. Eisenhower after a crash before York. An hour, 390 to downtown, 37 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 36 to 390. Northbound Tri-State delays, Southwest Highway to 75th, Plainfield Road to 31st. The Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. Northbound Veterans Memorial Heavy, 63rd to the Reagan Tollway. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte at AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Mostly sunny day, high 46, clear night, low 29. Sunny tomorrow, high 48, and a clear night, low 32. Sunshine Sunday, high 50, and at night becoming mostly cloudy, low 36. Becoming rainy Monday, high 48. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Sunshine in 31 right now. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy. With our friend Sean from Elmwood Park sitting in with us this morning on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Empowered Investing, the show dedicated to investors. Saturdays at noon on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan. And in for Amy this morning is Sean from Elmwood Park. And we were talking tariffs and the policy that President Trump has announced, 25% tariff on steel imports, 10% tariff on aluminum imports, a way to revitalize the steel industry here, I guess, and also the ancillary businesses, steel consuming businesses. Mm-hmm. This is the argument of the protectionist, I suppose, and keep American jobs in America and encourage companies to insource in America.
Well, they are releasing that movie, A Wiggle in Time. I'm watching it. Maybe we just woke up in 1930. Maybe. I mean, they all look like Herbert Hoover to me with the bell bottom like Hillary Clinton. It's all the same to me.
For more on this, we're pleased to be joined again by our friend Jim Urio, CNBC contributor and restaurateur. Jim, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So, is the president right? Trade wars are good.
No, well, no war is good. I guess if you could paraphrase him a little bit too, it says if you think that over the last 30, 40 years that we've been involved in a trade war that has at times intensified. You look back at currency manipulations, particularly China. Now, and there's been currency manipulations going on since the Great Recession too. Other countries do charge border tax, duties, tariffs for our products. So if you believe a trade war is going on and we're losing, which I'm not positive I do yet, then then it's probably best to get in than to be pummeled by it, correct? I still, by the way, I'd like to throw out first, I still think, and I don't know Donald Trump personally at all, I still think he throws things out as negotiating tools. And the best part of negotiating tools is you truly have to believe or convince people that you believe this is going to happen and then negotiate from it. So I still think there's a chance that these tariffs, even though there might be a real vote and there might be a real thing, I think they're there to be rescinded if other people will play with us.
Well, perhaps, but if they're not, the implication from historical experience suggests that it's not going to benefit the greater American population. I mean, just going back to March 2002, I should say, and W. Bush's 30% tariff on Chinese steel study indicates that produced a loss of 200,000 jobs in businesses that buy steel, representing about $4 billion in lost wages. So you're protecting one industry at the expense of an industry that employs 60 times more, or industries that employ 60 times more people.
Of that, there's no question, in my opinion. I think that the tariffs, and the stock market's telling us that too, is that the potential for it to be an economic negative is greater than the potential for it to be an economic positive. Now, the reason that the stock market hates it so bad is that it's, one, the potential to be an economic negative. And normally when that sort of thing happens, the direct response from the Fed would be to have easier money policies. However, if that exogenous factor that's an economic negative could also be inflationary, which surprise tariffs could be, then the market says, wow, the Fed can't respond to it in a normal fashion. So we're kind of a little bit in a pickle if the projection that they're thinking actually happens going forward. And I don't think the stock market is that terrified of it. There was other things that were making it go lower yesterday as well, but I think it has a right to be a little bit worried about the uncertainties.
Jim, I looked up your name when we were interviewing you, and I saw your picture, and I remembered you from the S&P pit. Do you know we were in the S&P pit together?
I do. I knew your name as soon as I heard it. I remember that. Oh, nice to talk to you again.
The trading badge was cigar. And listen, the funny thing is, if you and I were in the break room and we weren't doing this and this came out, I think we not only would we run and get short and would we sell calls and buy puts, but we would be very upset that one man has the power to do this to our economy.
There's no question about it. I hate the fact that these events, this event risk, can throw an asset price into a bit of a tizzy. And again, I'm going to fall back and say it too. Remember, Bill Dudley had made some very hawkish comments on top of Jay Powell's hawkish comments about tighter monetary policy before this even happened. So the stock market was already moving lower when it began, but this certainly was a push. Yes.
And then, and do you agree with some of the comments you're referencing about the inflationary pressure on the economy right now? The so-called overheating that you hear Keynesians suggest all the time?
No, and I don't even think the market thinks it's a foregone conclusion. I think that it's more of a possibility than it was before, is all the market's saying, and the market hates uncertainty. I don't think it will happen, but that's immaterial when you're looking at stock prices in the short term, is that okay, what are the potential risks, and the market hates uncertainty.
Jim, we've increased the money supply nearly 600% since 2009. Right?
You think that's inflationary, Sean?
I mean, so they're talking about a quiet QE. I'm watching news reporters who they don't know if it's Tuesday or July, and they're telling me inflation is good. How can the propaganda be inflation is good when it's never been good before? How can tariffs?
Because in this theoretical model, and we have these theoretical people governing us, guys like Daniel Biss, who I'm sure is a theoretical mathematician. The theory is a little bit of inflation, if you can control it, can be good. The problem is it's difficult to control, and most times they lose control of it once it happens. So it is a fact that a little bit of controlled inflation is good. I will argue that with anybody. But is it worrisome when it rears its head? Of course it is, because you could lose control quickly.
Well, this talk, and then now perhaps exacerbated by Trump's pronouncement on tariffs, has a lot of people buzzing and writing competing op-eds and blog posts about whether or not we're headed towards another recession, whether we're looking at asset bubbles bursting again, both in home prices, the college tuition bubble, and the rest. Where are you in terms of looking ahead 6 months, a year from now, and where we're trending, even as people are simultaneously talking about 4% GDP growth this year.
I still believe that the economy is heading in a right and proper direction. Some guys who crunch numbers hard, who I trust, believe that this tariff thing, if enacted, could take away about 10% of the tax break gain. So, 9 steps forward, 1 step back doesn't seem terrible to me. I think companies seem all very positive about the new regulatory and tax environment we're in now. And let's remember this, too, about the tariff thing. The one thing you can say, and again, I think this has to be agreed upon by all, it does kind of show an underlying, unflagging, unbelievable commitment to American business from this administration. Now, even if it's misguided, that's still there. There's no question. They want corporations to do well, which is a slight difference from the last one.
Tariffs, quantitative easing, Jim, and a $1.5 trillion phony infrastructure cooks the GDP number to fake economic growth. I want the separation of state and the economy, and until we get it, we're not capitalists. We're Keynesians.
But you have to admit that we're moving more towards it. We're not. I agree that we've moved away from the capitalist model. But in the last year and a half, we've seen some hints that we're going to try to move backward. And that's part of the reason right now we're seeing this unelegant and clumsy transition period. I like the direction. I just think we're in a bad starting point. It's going to take a while.
Yeah, Jim, you just have to understand that Sean from Elmwood Park has all his money tied up in Tang and Bitcoin. So he's not exactly an optimist. He is Jim Urio, CNBC contributor and Palatine restaurateur. The name of the restaurant in Palatine, Jim, is what?
Brant's of Palatine. It's been there since 1931. Give us a try. I think you'll like it.
And I hear it's the best burger in the suburbs. I really do.
Dinner for a cigar.
Is an insult to us. Best burger in the world is what we're shooting
in the
for.
world, excuse me. I'm sorry. Yes, big dreams. All right, Jim Urio, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And he joined us on the Turnkey.Pro answer line.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Today it's mostly sunny. It's going to get all the way up to 46, where I'm driving out to Jim, and I'm going to trade him a cigar for a burger. There's no question about it. Tonight down to 28. Tomorrow sunshine, high of 47. Low tomorrow night, 29. This is going to keep Amy sick all weekend. Sunday, plenty of sunshine, high of 51. Prop's yelling at his caddy. Why'd you give me the wrong yardage? Sunday night down to 36. Now Jim Telemonte with the fedora. You can pull it off.
Good morning, Sean. Good morning, Dan. West side of Chicago. Chicago Avenue remains closed from Latrobe and near Laramie. There was a fire in the 5200 block of West Chicago Avenue. It's out, but the cleanup investigation is ongoing. A big jam on the outbound Ryan from 18th to 31st, where all local lanes are closed. Traffic forced into the Express. This is a major wreck there. Inbound with scattered delays. It's 28 minutes 95th to downtown. Good news on the south side. It's at I-57 Bishop Ford. Have only 1 to 2 minutes worth of delays approaching the merge. Northbound Lakeshore Drive heavy from the Stevenson to before Jackson. Northbound Tri-State delays. Southwest Highway to 31st. From the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. Veterans Memorial now heavy. Northbound. Fountain to the Reagan Tollway. Eden's 22 minutes. Lake Hook to Montrose. Kennedy now 42 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. The I 52 minutes. 390 to the Circle. Stevenson 56 minutes. 355 to the Drive. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Napa Know-How. Hey, I'm Chase Elliott, driver of the number 9 Napa Chevy. Here to tell you that when you spend $25 at Napa this month, you'll get a free number 9 Napa racing cap. So whether you're a fan of drivers with fast cars or just a fan of keeping the sun out of your eyes, you'll get a free number 9 racing cap just for spending $25 at Napa. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa Know-How.
Napa Know-How.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Offer expires 3/31/18.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, what are you doing up here on the roof?
I want to tell the world I just met the woman of my dreams. What about you?
I want to tell the world that Liberty Mutual saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
They saved me $782.
Oh, you go first then. $782 really puts finding love into perspective.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Amanda Zanger, owner of Black Industrial and Safety Supply in Hammond, Indiana, and a business customer of Signature Bank.
Prior to owning my own business, I worked for a major financial institution. So when it came time to finance the acquisition of Black, I approached a big bank, only to receive a solid no. That's when Signature Bank stepped in. With Signature Bank, the process was different. Signature provided creative financing options that enabled me to purchase Black and continue to grow the business. Thanks to Signature Bank, Black Industrial is able to continue serving Fortune 500 industry fabricators and contractors with tools and safety supplies as we have since 1893.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
Starting Balance of Nature, I felt it the first month. I felt different. It made such a difference that now I wake up, my head feels clearer, I have more energy. Very rarely does my body cramp up anymore. It's the best thing. It's just amazing. I don't know what to say. I just would not be what I am today if I didn't start Balance of Nature.
I'm planning on taking this the rest of my life because until I started taking your stuff, I never took as many fruits and vegetables in a day as I get through you guys. You know, I'm very, very, very satisfied.
My pain and it went away. I swear to you that that's the truth.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
The following is a paid political announcement.
This is a story that continues to dog the Rauner administration.
Dolores French was one of 12 residents to die after contracting Legionella bacteria. Their son, Steve French, heard news of a Legionnaire's disease outbreak and called.
At that time, she was already dead.
Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner said, "We're really on top of the situation." Last fall, 3 more residents tested positive for the bacteria. A Korean War veteran died.
We've handled it exceptionally well, and we would not do anything different.
Jeannie Ives stands with our veterans. She always has. Paid for by Eyes for Illinois Governor. Only one candidate for governor consistently fights for Illinois taxpayers.
Our economy is too weak for a tax hike, and you know it. You know we need jobs, you complain about it all the time, and you won't fix our job creation problems.
That's why the tax watchdog group Tax Accountability endorsed Jeannie Ives over Bruce Rauner and made her the first state representative to earn a perfect score from the group. Jeannie Ives, the consistent conservative for Illinois governor. Paid for by Eyes for Illinois Governor.
If you have pain, listen up. Dennis Prager here. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. So, Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of its side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com.
It's tax season. Are you prepared? Do you need help? It's time to call your trusted tax advisor, Timothy C. Wolf, who's a CPA with over 35 years' experience in tax planning and preparation. Tim is knowledgeable about the current as well as the new 2018 tax legislation. Tim will complete your return while you wait, where possible, or in as little as 48 hours. And he'll have your tax return electronically filed with any refund being directly deposited to your account. As a Food for the Poor business benefactor, Tim challenges new and existing clients to contribute to Food for the Poor, with any new client contributions matched up to $50. Call 847-818-0400 to schedule an appointment. All new clients will receive a 20% discount off their 2017 tax preparation fees, as well as a free review of your past 3 tax returns. 1 in 3 reviews have resulted in refunds up to $50,000. Now is the time to call or text Tim at 847-818-0400 to schedule your appointment, or go to timwolfcpa.com to find out more.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Sean from Elmwood Park. And Sean, a lot of issues in the bioethicist realm. cloning, performing gender reassignment surgery on prepubescent children. And then this one, should EMTs save a human or a dog first?
Huh.
What do you think? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. You come to a scene, an EMT does. You got both a dog and a person suffering from smoke inhalation because of a fire in the home. Who should the EMT treat first?
Well, even though the dog has better insurance coverage, I still say the human.
It's very old school thinking. Very old school thinking. Let me introduce you to Bioethics PhD Craig Klugman from One DePaul University.
Oh, right here in Chicago, home of Saul Alinsky.
He was worried about EMT responders not giving pets mouth-to-mouth resuscitation out of fear that saving the dog, a dog, could be considered practicing veterinary medicine without a license. That's a big concern of his. So he wants to indemnify EMTs as it pertains to giving mouth-to-mouth to animals. But he also suggests that really it's a kind of a coin flip.
What a moron.
Many bioethicists would brand an automatic response, the human, to be speciesism.
Well,
and you don't want to be a speciesist, Sean.
Oh.
It's discriminatory.
Pull up my Archie Bunker chair, because I definitely am. My dogs, for instance, are really more because I'm too lazy to prep. Because if things go bad, my boy Momo is going to end up on a baguette. That's number one. Number two, when you live in the communist commune of DePaul, it's easy to pontificate on your ideals like this. Why doesn't he walk a little south of Roosevelt Road and try to give one of those dogs mouth-to-mouth? Let's see how it works out for him.
Having, let me just again, more from this deep thinker, having EMS able to give pet CPR does raise some interesting bioethical issues. From a resource perspective, if an EMT arrives on scene where a human needs CPR and a dog needs CPR, which one should the EMT assist first? Most people would probably respond to human, of course, because they're specious. And it's ugly, because that's my commentary. Because although we care deeply for our pets, our society still values human life over that of animals. Parenthetically, he writes, rightly or wrongly. He's neutral on the topic. Then he says, if we viewed both lives as equal, then perhaps the EMT should flip a coin.
What a moron.
Is that what the EMT should do? Now, look, if it was me and Hayek, and we had just escaped a fire and we were both suffering from smoke inhalation, I would... in very Jack Dawson-esque, heroic heroism, I would say no, go to Hayek.
Really?
Yeah. My time here is up, mainly because I want to get off.
Have you seen a lot of these EMT people?
First responder?
Just keep your face off me. If I get in an accident on my way home and you EMT people with the pimples and the burger still left on your chin, keep your face off me. Let me die in peace.
Do you just have this character of EMTs like from like Dom DeLuise in Cannonball Run? Do you think that's what they are, or
no? It was that movie in the '70s where they all had the jumpsuits on with Anne Margaret. Was it Anne Margaret? I think it was Anne Margaret, where they're running around in the ambulances. You remember they were all slobs with food stains on their shirts. Plus, I happened to look into the ambulances at the stoplights next to me now. I don't want these kids doing anything.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something. I don't think people are lining up to give you mouth-to-mouth
Leave me alone,
either.
I'll make it.
Kevin in Northfield.
Dan, you stole my thunder. I got 3 points. First of all, those EMTs are gorgeous supermodels, and not a one of them would touch Sean from Elmwood Park to give him any of the mouth-to-mouth.
All right.
Everybody's trying to give me
Thanks for the cut. Oh, Kevin, I'm sorry we don't have time for the other two.
I can't even go in the booth without Justin trying to give me mouth-to-mouth.
Would you? Honestly. Like, Justin can't do better than you. All right, coming up, the Dem candidates for governor in Illinois play the Price is Right game. We'll have that at 7:37, but now we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
The show Sean is searching for is emergency. Emergency, that 70s emergency
that's
EMT
it.
show.
See?
Right, yeah, that's right. Nice.
Adam 12, Emergency, all those old wonderful shows.
Love the jumpsuits, Anne Margaret in a jumpsuit.
Outside, we have sunny skies, and we're looking at 31 degrees right now. And LL Bean just announcing moments ago, it's joining a list of companies banning gun sales to those under the age of 21. The outdoor retailer tweeting this morning that it's raising the minimum age for gun purchases following the Florida high school shooting. Now, LL Bean only sells guns in its flagship store, saying on Twitter it doesn't sell handguns or what it calls assault weapons. Gold medal winning gymnast Aly Raisman is suing the U.S. Olympic Committee. Raisman's suit argues that the USOC knew or should have known that former USA Gymnastics team doctor Larry Nassar was molesting her and other young women and girls. The suit was filed yesterday in California, announced this morning. President Trump tweeting about trade wars this morning, one day after announcing that the U.S. would soon impose tariffs on imported steel and aluminum. The president writing when a country is losing many billions of dollars on trade with virtually every country it does business with. He says trade wars are good and easy to win, end quote. Authorities are investigating the cause of a deadly fire on Chicago's west side. Fire department says the blaze started early this morning in an apartment building near West Chicago and Laramie. A firefighter is also hospitalized with a minor injury. One person is dead, several others hurt following a massive crash on the Eisenhower Expressway extension near Elmhurst. A group of former Cook County jail commanders suing Sheriff Tom Dart and other county leaders. That suit filed this week claims Sheriff Tom Dart fired the high-ranking officers as payback for trying to form a union. A ban on tackle football for younger kids is a step closer to a vote in Springfield. An Illinois House panel yesterday approved the plan to outlaw organized tackle football for kids under the age of 12. While backers say younger kids are at higher risk for brain injuries, most lawmakers are not sold on the way the law is written. One and done for Northwestern in the Big Ten tournament. The Cats losing to Penn State at Madison Square Garden. Eastern Illinois, a tournament victim in the Ohio Valley to Austin Peay 73-66. Blackhawks no match for the Sharks in a 7-2 loss. The news, a service of Rocket Mortgage by Quicken. Rocket Mortgage is simple, so you can understand the details and be sure you're getting the right mortgage. Apply simply, understand fully, and mortgage confidently. Visit rocketmortgage.com today. Licensed in all 50 states. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 3030. 7:34 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager defines a conservative.
The left is based on passion. It is not intellectually based. It is not rationally based. We're angry that people got killed, as I am too. I am just as angry as they. Then I ask with my mind, with my faculty of reason, what would work. The second you ask what would work, you are a conservative.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Cold or flu? Fever is flu's trademark. The Exergen temporal scanner is the #1 thermometer pediatricians recommend. Protect your family with technology backed by over 70 clinical studies. Exergen.com.
Message and data rates may apply.
Here's something I bet you didn't know about prescription drugs. You could be paying a lot less for your family's medications, up to 80% less. Even less than your Medicare or insurance copay. How? With GoodRx. See, GoodRx compares prices of every FDA-approved drug at pharmacies in your area and offers free downloadable coupons, so you get the best deals on all your medications. You'd be surprised to see just how much the prices can differ. In fact, last year alone, GoodRx saved Americans over $2 billion on their medications. Imagine paying even less than your insurance copay. Plus, GoodRx can sometimes find your medications for free. There are never any fees, and no personal information is ever required. Stop paying too much for your prescriptions and save up to 80% instantly by texting the word GoodRx to 99,000 for automated text messages from GoodRx. Or go to GoodRx.com. Text GoodRx to 99,000. Save today. Text GOODRX to 99000.
7:35. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. On the outbound Ryan, traffic's at a standstill from Roosevelt Road to 31st, where the local lanes are closed due to a major wreck. Inbound, it is heavy in pockets. We're looking at about 35 minutes, 95th to downtown Chicago. I-57 at Bishop Ford have only slight delays approaching the merge. The Aiden's inbound is 20 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose out on 21. Kennedy inbound, heavy Sayre to the Burn Circle. 45 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 26. The Eisenhower's an hour, 390 to the Circle. 38 minutes from Mannheim. Outbound 40 to 390. Stevenson brutal. Central to the Ryan. The outbound Ryan ramp backed up badly. It is an hour and 12 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound, it's 38 minutes. Northbound Tri-State delays are from Southwest Highway to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Ike. Northbound Veterans Memorial slope out into the Reagan Tollway. Traffic service of Napa. This month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores, you get a free Chase Elliott racing cap with a $25 purchase while supplies last. That's Napa know-how. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Beautiful sunny day ahead, high 46. Clear and 28 overnight. Currently 33. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next with our friend Sean from Elmwood Park sitting in with us this morning on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
Coming up next, it's me, Mike Gallagher, right after Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560, The Answer.
Well, Mike Scott told us the television show we were thinking about emergency when it came to the story about EMTs and whether you should resuscitate a human or an animal first, per a DePaul bioethicist confusion. And then you were trying to think of a movie from the 70s.
Raquel Welch, baby.
It was Raquel Welch and the movie, as we've gotten from a number of people, which shows how depraved our audience is. They're as disturbed as you are. Mother, Jugs, and Speed.
Yeah.
1970s Raquel Welch, and I looked at the trailer, and there's definitely things going on in addition to Speed.
I was 9, and I remember just...
Like it was yesterday.
Like yesterday. I can remember sitting there in awe. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Well,
and I couldn't have picked a better title.
Yeah. It's good
All right.
stuff. All right. Speaking of Jugs, let's talk about Pritzker and Democrat governor's
segue.
race. Yeah. There was a Democrat governor debate yesterday, and a bit of a pillow fight between Kennedy and JB over those phone calls that were unearthed between JB Pritzker, Spalding, and Blago, talking about the right black candidate to replace Barack Obama.
What JB says in those tapes, he uses the language of racists.
Yeah, that's what passes for a real shot across the bow
Yeah.
in those debates. And then J.B. Pritzker, not to be underdone, went after Chris Kennedy for raising, being responsible for tuition rate increases while he was chairman of the board of U of I.
Well, it's kind of ironic that Mr. Kennedy is raising the issue of universities. He raised tuition 5 times when he was the chairman of the University of Illinois.
Yeah. And each one of them made JB hungry. I mean, I like this. It's the Trotskyites versus the Leninists. Who's going to win? My money's on Vincent Price Biss.
But then they turned the show over to Rod Rowdy, and it was come on down time. That's just the fun part. It might as well turn it into a game show, because here's what they did. They were asked questions about, do you know the price of this? Do you know the price of this? And if they got it right, they won a trip to Cancun.
Nice.
In a test to see how relatable the candidates are, Daniel Biss is asked how much a monthly CTA pass is.
So I would guess is probably around $35.
The cost of that pass is actually $105 a month. Pritzker was asked how much childcare costs each week.
About $150 at the low end.
High end?
Probably $400.
Who do you think makes it to the Showcase Showdown, Sean?
Oh, it's going to be Biss, because he's got the poor man socialist. See, the poor man socialist, socialism is best sold by a poor man. Rich men are just pandering. For instance, both of these. If I were a rich man. Yeah, well, I mean, really, Pritzker, the price of anything, he has no idea. None. He knows exactly what the tax rate is if you should happen to move your money from the Caymans to here. That he's got.
Text from 219, JB would have known the price of a dozen Fabergé eggs, or what you pay to buy a whole hotel, not just an overnight stay. Can you say trust fund fatty? I think I just did. Yeah, it turns out, by the way, the healthcare cost, I mean, I'm surprised that he doesn't know, or childcare, I should say. And I'm surprised he doesn't know what the childcare cost is on a weekly or monthly basis, since he was raised by a single mom.
Sure he
he's
was.
told us that terrible story
Yeah.
of his upbringing. He's $150 to $400. I don't know, but isn't it more like $1,000, $1,500 a month?
I think he was asked a week, if memory
Well, I
serves
know,
me
but I
correct.
can do the multiplication.
But it all depends. Like, for instance, I have one kid that only eats like two things. She'll either have sushi, which we don't want her to say that because it's awful pricey, and I have to go through the process of that language barrier when ordering from New Star, or we have to go to Chick-fil-A where she'll only eat the Chick-fil-A nuggets. So for all of us, it's a little different. But the main thing is, what it does show you is that whether it be Pritzker or Kennedy, completely out of touch with every day could they not further be. It's outrageous that these people are considered, after doing nothing but waiting for the trust fund checks to roll in and their nanny to tell them what the rules are, that they somehow know what's best policies for us, the people in Illinois.
By the way, the whole, the BIS thing, the middle-class governor, him and Fred Armisen getting their kids ready for school every day and all that in the commercials. He's not without means. He's from means. I know. I actually ran the re-election campaign of a Republican state rep the first time he ran for office, state rep, when we defeated him in the Wilmette area. And his mom has connections to a lot of North Shore money, which is how he's been able to raise a good chunk of money to compete against the scions of wealthy families in Pritzker and Kennedy. So the whole kind of, working class, stiff, middle-income family scraping by just like you and me rap that he's running is not unsurprisingly a bit disingenuous. Tom and Schaumburg, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Well, of the six of these delusional idiots, Biss is the only one that I would think is more conservative than Rauner in that he voted to reduce pensions on union workers. So I don't imagine any union person in this state is going to vote for Daniel Biss. And the other guy, the burn victim, a.k.a. Kennedy, he's so delusional. He says the reason we don't have no jobs in Illinois is because our education system isn't good enough. And if we just spend, $3 trillion on education, then every employer in the world will come to Illinois so they can take advantage of the most intelligent workforce in the world. That's his plan for our future. I've got to go with JB. I gotta vote for this guy because he's the dumbest of all of them, and he's the one most likely to drive the state into bankruptcy, and that's the only way we'll fix the pension problem.
Thanks, Tom. Nancy in St. Charles.
Hey, I didn't get to watch the debate, but I was just wondering if J.B. Pritzker's transvestite Lieutenant Colonel Jennifer Pritzker was mentioned during the debate.
She's the prettiest woman the Pritzkers have ever produced. Take it easy.
Thanks for the call,
I mean, are you
Nancy.
taking a look at these people? They all look the same. Lou Costello.
On the other side, Governor Rauner, they moved some gun dealer licensing legislation out on Wednesday to the Illinois General Assembly and puts Governor Rauner in a bit of a sticky wicket. Remember, this is a governor who did not answer the NRA questionnaire in 2014, has not answered it in 2018. He doesn't want to take a position on guns any more than he wants to take a position on just about anything else. So he has the flexibility to stab conservatives in the back once he's free and clear of them in a primary, something for consideration. But he is not ready to weigh in on the gun dealer licensing bill, which would create, among other things, this administrative rulemaking body with open-ended rulemaking power that would that has the potential to drastically and negatively impact the law-abiding, legitimate gun dealers in terms of their business's viability, in addition to do through the back door what they can't get through the front door, which is a gun registry.
Another politician with a security team who has no principles, none. He's walking around in his working man Carhartt costume so he can relate to the regular guy.
Costume.
The whole thing with this guy is he's a two-bit con man, fraud. Just look at how he lived. Forget about what he tells you through these ridiculous commercials when he's not committing what I think is libel slander in his bald-faced lie about Jeannie Ives. Libel slander. The only one to go golfing and belong to the wine club with this midget Irish mafia in Chicago is Rauner.
Well, I think the one thing that you can look forward to if Republicans nominate Rauner and then concede the election to the other side, because that's what you'll be doing if Rauner's the nominee, you're saying Pritzker, Biss, Kennedy, whoever it is, they're going to be the next governor. And then they'll be the next governor, likely with Democrat majorities in the General Assembly. And then you better expedite your plans to leave Illinois, or you can just sit back and take it, which Republicans are good at doing in this state, because you're going to get you'll get a move to pass a constitutional amendment not to deal with pension benefits, not to deal with property taxes, not to deal with school funding, to graduate the state's income tax, because that's the next thing. And if you don't think they'll do it, or the constitutional amendment is so difficult and they won't have the votes and they won't have the popular support, they have the popular support. They have the popular support right now, which is why J.B. Pritzker is running commercials about it. Do you think he's just doing that with an eye towards its popularity in the Democrat primary? He's doing it because he knows, and he is correct, that it is popular statewide, as Republicans have failed to present a choice, and so people go with the class envy rhetoric of the left. And frankly, some of the class envy rhetoric and identity politics rap of those ostensibly on the right. When you meld it into one party, what do you leave people to choose between? J.B. Pritzker, Bruce Rauner, Dan Biss, Chris Kennedy. You're just shuffling the deck chairs of which members of the Illinois political ruling class get to sit in them.
I just want to know who has to win so that Bruce Rauner's wife stops getting an assistant and a salary that we pay for. I mean, if we're going to hire this poor thing anything, let's make it a makeup artist. Can we do that?
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
All right, let's focus on the nice thing. Good morning. What a beautiful morning. Mostly sunny, high 46. Clear tonight, low at 28. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 47. Low tomorrow night, down to 29. Sunday, plenty of sunshine. Although, the greens are going to be slow. Croft might have a chance to score okay. Now we're going to go to Jim Telemonte into traffic. Are we okay, or we have dummies everywhere?
Well, unfortunately, Sean, things are pretty ugly this morning. West side of Chicago. Chicago Avenue remains closed from Latrobe to east of Laramie after an early morning fire. And then there's the outbound ride. Just a mess with a major wreck at 31st. The local lanes are closed there. The traffic is jammed up starting around Roosevelt. Inbound, there are gapers, of course. It's about 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford now 22 minutes from 8094 to the Ryan. Edens is good inbound, 19 minutes, Lake Hook to the Junction. Outbound 21. Kennedy, 45 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 23 from Montrose, 24 in the Express. Outbound, 6-minute delay, Montrose to Sayre. The Ike, an hour, 390 to downtown. Outbound 40 minutes. Northbound Tri-State heavy, Harlem to 31st. And from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve where a crash blocks the right lane. Southbound, it's heavy. The Adams Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound Veterans Memorial, still Boughton to the Reagan Tollway. Jim Talamonte, the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
I'm living alone for the first time in 40 years, and I'm worried something might happen to me.
Live independently with Alarm Detection Systems. We offer medical alert devices with 24/7 emergency assistance monitoring. Setup is easy, and a live professional is waiting to assist you. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. Alarm license number 127000143.
Our neighbor had thousands of dollars in flood damage and lost several items that are irreplaceable. Is there a security solution to receive early warning of an event like this?
Of course. Alarm Detection Systems has flood detection systems alerting you when water gathers in your home, giving you time to react. ADS is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. Alarm license number 127000143.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I was always just sort of feeling tired. And so I said, maybe this will just help in overall vitality. But in the past couple of years that I've been taking it, I find my energy has been great. I've been sleeping better. I don't get the cravings for junk food as often as I used to. I really attribute it to the product. It's so easy to use. Even if I want to take a capsule for my daughter and I just pull it apart to mix it in some juice or something, it's just something I'm very grateful to be able to incorporate. I really love the product. I think it's made such a difference.
Generally feel better, generally have better energy and more stamina. Breathing is easier, walking is easier. You're not in pain anymore, all right? I could go on and on.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for upstream-ideas.com. Guns have no moral agency. Predators hurt and kill people. Often they use a gun. Good guys protect people. Often they use a gun. When a predator kills with a gun, he is rightly called a monster. When a good guy with a gun fails to protect people, he's rightly called a coward. The very nature of the way we discuss an atrocity like the Parkland school shooting conveys our understanding that it's bad guys and good guys who are responsible for what they do, and not the instrumentality they use in their conduct. So arguing that the response to the deadly success of the shooter and the failure of the deputy sheriff is to reduce the number of good guys and their instrumentality choices does not logically follow from the accepted premise. And neither does the failure of state agencies locally and federally to exercise the power they currently possess make the case for expanding their power at the expense of our rights. No amount of emergency planning or algorithmic modeling or government power can replace the variety of human judgment calls that will be thrust upon a free people. The question then isn't what's in my holster, it's what's in my head and my heart.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Career politicians put jobs in Mexico ahead of jobs in Muncie, jobs in Beijing ahead of Bloomington. And when our jobs disappeared, the insiders sat on their hands and did nothing. Businessman and outsider Mike Braun is running for U.S. Senate to bring Indiana jobs back. Family man, businessman, Christian, Mike Braun created hundreds of jobs here in Indiana. As senator, Mike Braun will help pass President Trump's agenda. Braun will repeal Obamacare once and for all, defund dangerous sanctuary cities, and finally build the wall. And Mike Braun will protect the right to life and stand up for our values. No more career politicians. Businessman, outsider, conservative. We need Mike Braun in the United States Senate. He puts Indiana and America first.
I'm Mike Braun, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Bob Aument, a founding partner of the law firm of Daspin & Aument and longtime personal customer of Signature Bank. Our firm recently left one of the larger banks to bank with Signature Bank, and it's been a refreshing change. With Signature Bank, we've been able to tailor banking solutions that fit the specific needs of our firm. Beyond that, Signature Bank is responsive, efficient, and timely in meeting those needs. If I have a request, I pick up the phone and talk to Mick O'Rourke, not someone at a phone bank thousands of miles away. Daspin & Aument needed more than what the larger banks offer, and we found that with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Nobody should have to live with depression. Not anymore.
It's a new year. Time for a new you.
Abilify, Wellbutrin, Seroquel, Rexulti. These are common drugs prescribed for depression. You may be able to get off the drugs and the endless counseling. You've heard about the revolutionary TMS therapy.
Now it's time to get a free consultation from HPR centers.
End your frustration with life and relationships. In a few short weeks, your life will change. It's FDA cleared, safe, and it's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross Blue Shield and Medicare. TMS therapy treats the cause of your depression. Millions have been treated. The results, nothing short of outstanding. HPR centers are proud to bring TMS therapy to Chicagoland and Milwaukee.
You need to take the first step. Call.
The war on depression is over.
You win.
HPR centers.
800-604-0208. 800-604-0208.
Go to endmydepression.com.
As a business owner, you have hundreds of decisions to make on a daily basis. It's beyond needing to pay bills, keeping employees happy, or what the next step is to grow your business. Part of your stress can be making sure you're protected in a time of crisis. Can you trust that your insurance provider is going to be there when you need them most? When you're looking for a partner who's there for you in your most desperate times, call Insure with us. You won't have to wait on hold to talk to an agent who's unfamiliar with your policy. Speak directly to who wrote your policy when you have any urgent question or need. Don't hesitate. Get it done today. Get a free quote in less than 24 hours at lowcostinsurance.biz. Choose from dozens of top insurers across the U.S. Insure with Us focuses on finding you the best coverage for your business and for your family. Visit them today at lowcostinsurance.biz. Insure with Us. Coverage for the things that matter most.
You want to go to Italy, but not on a prepackaged tour. You want something more real. You want to do what you love in Italy, to gather with friends, your beloved family, a big table, in your own private villa in Tuscany. It's easier than you think. DoWhatYouLoveInItaly.com is a small company with 8 villas to choose from, all in the most beautiful and culturally interesting countryside of Tuscany. For the cost of a hotel, you can rent a private, centuries-old villa with pool, gardens, and classic Tuscan views. Grandparents, kids, and grandchildren, groups of friends, your family, together in one of our gorgeous Italian villas in the heart of Tuscany. They are called Do What You Love in Italy because they help you to do what you love in Italy. See the 8 villas waiting for you at DoWhatYouLoveInItaly.com. Do what you love in Italy.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
The college bubble. Student bodies are in decline across the country, somewhat drastically. The spring of 2017 hosted 2.4 million fewer college students nationwide than did the fall of 2011, a 12% decrease in just 6 years. Continued reductions in enrollment hitting the smallest and most vulnerable colleges the hardest. Wall Street Journal poll recently found that Americans are essentially split on whether the college degree is worth the cost, 49-47. Just 4 years earlier, 13% differential in favor of earning a degree. People are not believing there is value for the cost. People are not going.
Good.
And you know where the opportunity is? Online.
Exactly. Trade schools, too.
Well, and trade schools, too. This is Malcolm Gladwell. Would you rather take a writing class from Malcolm Gladwell or for some cultural Marxist Sarah Lawrence grad? $90. Malcolm Gladwell is hosting his first ever online class on writing, promising to share his top tips from penning, of course, his best-selling non-fiction material for the years. This is being offered through a company called Masterclass, which offers more than 24 celebrity-led video courses. All access plan, $180 a year.
Well, listen,
$90 to get educated by Malcolm Gladwell.
Listen, as the fact that never gets talked about, student default on loans has never been higher. The fact that we underwrite all these loans. You've got
$1.5 trillion in student debt.
And the highest default is right now. This is great. For me, this is great because it's about college is about an individual choice. The idea that society made kids feel it's absolutely necessary to succeed is, number one, a lie. Number two, it's not true. And number three is it harms specific labor industries that we need.
Well, it's also about intellectual pursuits, being a lifelong learner, actually gaining knowledge. And you can do that at the Khan Academy. You can do that as master class. You can do that at Heterodox. And you can increasingly not do that on an actual physical college campus. Coming up at 8:08, we'll talk to Lynn Dunnigan, the lady who runs Ladies of Steel's Gun Club on the South Side. But now we turn it over to Mike Scott.
WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
If you don't have steel, you don't have a country. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump tweeted that a short time ago, adding, "We must protect our workers. The steel industry is in bad shape." Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
The president is set to impose a 25% tariff on steel imports and a 10% tariff on aluminum in order to, in the president's words, level the playing field. White House spokeswoman Sarah Sanders defended the president's action on Fox and Friends this morning.
And this is something that shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody. The president is committed to looking out and protecting the American worker.
It's not clear whether the president will follow the advice of his national security advisors and exempt some countries from the tariffs. Dave?
Now, John, those tariffs are being condemned from Canada to Europe to Asia. Some countries talking of retaliation as stock markets fall overseas and futures plunge on Wall Street, suggesting another big sell-off. President Trump met with NRA executives last night. One of them, Chris Cox, tweeted later,
"We all want safe schools, mental health reform, and to keep guns away from dangerous people. POTUS and VPOTUS support the Second Amendment, support strong due process, and don't want gun control.
Fox's Jillian Turner. The president does support stronger background checks. Democratic Senate Leader Chuck Schumer is urging the president to go with his instincts, not the destructive call of the NRA. A sheriff's deputy was shot early this morning in South Carolina trying to make a traffic stop. The driver opened fire. The deputy shot back. Both were wounded. We don't know how badly. It's stormy in California. Santa Barbara County deputies went door to door, urging people to evacuate, fearing rain-triggered mudslides.
But due to the size and the breadth of the evacuation area, we will not be able to notify everyone in person.
Sheriff Bill Brown says the impacted areas include as many as 30,000 people.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. January mudslides killed at least 21 people there. Storm in the Northeast dumping heavy snow. Heavy rain on the coast could flood areas. 1,900 flights are canceled. Fox News, fair and balanced.
33 degrees. Skies are sunny at 8:02. On AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Authorities investigating the cause of a fatal fire on Chicago's west side. Fire department says the blaze broke out early this morning in an apartment complex near West Chicago and Laramie Avenues. A firefighter is hospitalized with a minor injury. One person is dead, several others hurt following a massive crash on the Eisenhower Expressway near Elmhurst. Fire broke out after 3 semi-tractor trailers and 4 other vehicles collided on the extension near St. Charles Road. A group of former Cook County jail commanders is suing Sheriff Tom Dart and other county leaders. A suit filed this week claims Dart fired the high-ranking jail officers as payback for trying to form a union. Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson says gun violence crimes were down in February for the 12th straight month. Police department recording 38 homicides last month, compared with 49 in February of last year. A Milwaukee man is accused of sending threatening letters to public officials in Lake County. Chicago Tribune reporting Timothy Heller is charged with threatening a public official. Authorities say he sent a complaint to multiple offices and departments within Lake County government. The letter referenced the recent mass shooting at a Florida school in an attempt to scare recipients. Chicago sports, one and done for Northwestern in the Big Ten basketball tournament. The Wildcats lost to Penn State 65-57. The Valley tournament kicks off with the quarterfinals at the Scott Trade Center in St. Louis today, where Coach of the Year Porter Moser and his club from Loyola square off with Northern Iowa. 8:03 is our time. It's time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network, a service of Turnkey.pro, here's Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, JCPenney's business is picking up. Its sales rose more than 2.5% in the recent quarter. Its earnings were stronger than a year earlier and better than forecast, though analysts were expecting JCPenney to bring in more money from sales. Toyota is setting up a new unit just to build software for self-driving cars. The Wall Street Journal says Toyota will spend nearly $3 billion to set up the unit, which will be called Toyota Research Institute Advanced Development. Uber has launched a new service to get you to your doctor's appointment. Uber Health is marketing itself as cheaper and more reliable than most medical transport services. News of the administration's plans to impose tariffs on aluminum and steel pushed stocks lower yesterday. The Dow dropped 420 points, NASDAQ down 92, and the S&P lost 36. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder explains why the Democrats are in a tough spot.
The issue that Democrats are facing is real simple. Are you going to be the party that says, I hate Donald Trump's guts? Are you going to be the party of $15 minimum wage? Or are you going to be the party of trying to grow the economy? And that is the dilemma that the Democrats are facing. What is their message?
The Larry Elder Show. Weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
Hiring is important. People are what make your business work. But how do you find the right talent? ZipRecruiter makes it simple. One click sends your job ad to over 100 of the web's leading job boards. But ZipRecruiter doesn't stop there. Their smart matching technology will instantly alert quality candidates about your job. That means you'll start getting great candidates with the right experience almost as soon as your job is posted. No wonder 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. The right candidates are out there. This is how you find them. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
People from businesses of all sizes trust ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs. We're so confident ZipRecruiter will get you better results than anywhere else. We'll let you try it free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It is 8:06. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. The outbound Ryan Expressway remains a solid mess. Early morning wreck, which has the local lanes closed at 31st. Traffic at a standstill from the Burns Circle now. All traffic going to the express lanes. Consider Canal, another alternate, perhaps Lakeshore Drive, depending on where you're going. Inbound, got a crash past 75th in the two right lanes. And more delays kick in at 43rd. It's 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford with that crash past 75th. Now getting heavier, too. It's 22 minutes from 80-94 to the right. I-57 to 16 minutes. Eden's 19 minutes, Lake Cook to the junction. Up on 21. Kennedy, 48 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 38 from Montrose, 32 in the Express. Up on 10 minutes to Montrose, 32 to the airport. About Eisenhower, 55 minutes, 390 to downtown. 42 from Manheim. Up on 39 to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 15 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, thanks in part to that crash on the Ryan. Outbound 38 minutes. Southbound Tri-State, gummed up from the Adams Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound Harlem to 31st. Now from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. Northbound Veterans Memorial Stop and Go out into the Reagan Tollway. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Mostly sunny day, high 46, clear night low 29. Sunny tomorrow, high 48 and a clear night low 32. Sunshine Sunday, high 50 and at night becoming mostly cloudy low 36, becoming rainy Monday, high 48. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
33 and sunshine
This
at O'Hare.
hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan. And in for Amy this morning is Sean from Elmwood Park, who's helping us to
prune. Let's use the word prune.
Yeah, prune the audience.
Yes.
Yeah, to make it more manageable,
Exactly.
which really help. Text from 708. Sean is like the neighbor you try to avoid because all he does is babble, thinking he knows everything, when in reality he knows nothing.
Just put on your Make America Great hat. You'll be all right.
Text from another 708, different 708. Changing the channel right now. I'm not putting up with that big mouth fill-in you've got, and other texts like that. So
That's the guy and his wife. Good riddance.
Yeah. Thank you for that. All right, let's see if we can, maybe bring somebody on who will compel people's interests in a way that we're not, and bring our audience back. How about that?
Yeah.
President Trump meeting with the NRA yesterday, and Christopher Cox, the executive director of the NRA, saying after that meeting, good news, despite what you saw at that public roundtable with the bipartisan group of Congress beings, the president is against gun control, and he is for due process. So the Second and Fifth Amendments are safe.
Triple Lindy. The Trump Triple Lindy.
That's got to be good news to Lynn Dunnigan, who's the owner of JMD Defense and Investigations. She's also the creator of the Ladies of Steel Gun Club. She may want to go with a different alloy, though, now that there's going to be a tariff on steel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, where's the gun debate in this city, in this state? Have you seen the commercials? Joe Barrios?
They're going to get rid of them all. Barrios, he's going to get rid of them. He's going to go to verbal assessment on your house like he did for Pritzker. It's going to be great.
Well, but Joe Barrios is running for Cook County Assessor, saying he's going to take on the NRA and ban assault weapons.
How about you do your job, dummy?
Do you understand the lack of respect the political ruling class has for you?
Yeah.
Do you? I mean, if you watch these commercials and you don't understand what they're actually telling you as to how they think of you, oh boy. Anyway, let's get our friend Lynn on. Lynn Dunnigan, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it, Lynn.
Hi, thank you again for this opportunity.
Well, we enjoyed talking to you the last time and what you're doing down there on the South Side, and so we wanted to get an update on how the Ladies of Steel Gun Club is going and how the membership is growing and what you think about all of the debate happening in this city and country.
Okay, well, yes, I think you interviewed me last July, and from July, I think I had probably 30 ladies back in July, and as of yesterday, we've grown to 95 ladies in the gun club.
That's great. All Southsiders?
No, they're from all over. I mean, I have
Okay.
ladies in, I think it's North Lake. She's coming from around Des Plaines, Oak Park. We have people as south as Stager. I mean, they're coming from all over.
Great.
Because we are the only gun club, female-only gun club in Chicago.
And where should I send Sheriff Dart to arrest you all?
No, we are legal owners of firearms, and we are responsible owners of firearms. So we're not the ones they need to look for.
And the genesis of this, the genesis of putting together this club?
Well, one of the main reasons is that I used to be afraid of firearms, like I had told you all before. And once I went through the proper training, understood that a firearm is not just going to shoot you, that I realized I fell in love with shooting and the I don't compete, but just the fact of learning everything I can about shooting. And so I decided that once I opened a business, I wanted to incorporate a ladies' gun club, because whenever I go to the range, I never would see a group of ladies together or individual, a lady going solo to shoot. And I also wanted, I think what's also happening is the educational piece is missing from the concealed carry conversation here. So I wanted to also include an educational component. So once a month we meet here and we bring in a speaker to talk all things firearms. And then just like the other day, Wednesday, we went to Black Hawk Tactical in Alsip and met with the owner, Adam, and he gave our ladies a presentation about what goes into purchasing a firearm. And the very next week after we go, we have a meeting here with the speaker, then we go to shoot in a practice. So it holds everyone accountable. It gets us out of that house and making sure that the firearm that we did purchase, that we know what we're doing with it and we're responsible.
Now, Lynn, the south side of Chicago and history kind of shows us that women have a tendency to be prey of bad-intended men, correct?
Well, it's not just the south side. I mean,
that's what I meant.
Just
it's everywhere.
Anywhere.
So
Yeah, that's anywhere, not even just in Chicago.
So, well, that's my point.
Women are victims. We're more likely to be victims. And the goal is to empower women, even if they choose not to carry a firearm. We have self-defense classes for ladies as well, and that's to help them to decide, I believe you should do both, self-defense and if you decide to have a firearm, but to think about how not to become a victim.
So I have two daughters. One of them is a couple of years away from going to college. Do you think that the government should take away her Second Amendment rights until she's 21?
Well, this is my personal opinion about young people and firearms. I don't train young people under 18 or to shoot firearms. I don't think that young people should have a firearm on campus when they go, because I just don't think they're going to make that decision. We know you're not supposed to drink when you have a firearm, because a lot of things can happen when you have a firearm. I'm not saying all students go to college and they drink, but I'm just not sure if they're going to have that maturity level to make a decision to say, I'm going to leave this firearm at home, or if someone steps on my toe at a party, that I'm going to pull out this firearm. So it's not so much for me about her not having that Second Amendment right. Yes, I believe she should have that right. I'm just not sure if young people should have access to those firearms. You have to be 21. You have to be 21 to have a
FOID
be
card.
able to purchase a
get a FOID card.
Pistol,
Yeah.
But a long gun, you can be 18. That
Right.
doesn't make sense to me, and I don't know if it's so much about the government. I just think our legislators need to think about that. Does that even make sense?
Legislators and thinking, that's asking a lot. Here's question, though. I want to go back to something you said, too. You kind of used to be afraid of guns. The whole demystification of guns that happens when you actually properly learn how to use one and become a responsible and safe gun owner. And I just wonder, you've had your experience, and now with all of these ladies in your group, if that's been kind of something that repeats itself, that so much of this debate and discussion is clouded by hysteria that's easily dissipated if you just either take the time to educate yourself and understand what people are saying, even if you don't want to participate in owning a gun or in shooting sports or whatever. You don't have to experience it. But then if you do experience it, the scales fall from the eyes.
Yeah, I do think that education opens individuals' eyes. We've had people come in to take our intro class and say, wow, I really just didn't understand all that goes into a firearm. You know, everything, the safety component, storing it, shooting it, properly handling. So, yeah, I believe that what happens is once they leave, they realize, I understand it now. You know, I used to even think, you know, you look at a gun or you touch it, it's just going to go off. But now, you know, I carry my firearm every day, and it's just like a part of my body. So I don't really think about, well, I know this firearm is not going to go off, but it will if I could easily shoot myself or someone else if I'm negligent. That's the point I was going to make.
Sure.
Yep.
Well, obviously I'm for the Second Amendment. I like the idea that you're safe. I just think everybody needs to be that safe. I don't like the idea that we put age limits and age restrictions, really, is what it is. It's a restriction. And you know what I'm reminded of when you were talking about drinking at a party? Do you remember a couple of years ago there was that Chicago policeman, Abate, who
beat up the bartender.
Attacked that bartender. And if you watched that was so horrific. All I thought to myself is, too bad this little girl who's outweighed by 100 pounds doesn't have a weapon to defend herself, because not everybody's as tough as that bartender was. So I think we need to give all of our kids, especially when we decide that they are old enough to leave the house and go away to college, we need to give them that amendment right. That's really my own.
Well, and Lynn, I mean, when you talk to the ladies in your organization too, do you talk about the stories of responsible, law-abiding gun owners who are heroes? The guy in Oswego just this week who stopped a knife attack. The two guys that responded to the Sutherland Springs church shooter with guns, and one was a former NRA instructor. Do you guys have conversations like that so that you can kind of spread the word, as it were?
Well, we talk about so many different things come up that happen in the news. We share that information with individuals and say, in the end, when you're in a situation, you really don't know how you're going to react until you're in that situation. But the answer may not always be a firearm. I mean, it may be if somebody takes your firearm away from you, you need to know how to fight. So we have a self-defense class. Our self-defense instructor talks to the ladies about weapon retention and what happens if someone takes that firearm from you. So I'm not necessarily sure. I know it's this big debate about the teachers carrying a firearm, having a firearm in the class. I don't necessarily think that's a good idea, because when the police come in, they don't know who the bad guy is. A woman could be the bad guy. A man could be the bad guy. It could be an older teacher that looks innocent to someone else, but he has a firearm. And the other thing is, when you start shooting and trying to defend the kids, the kids may go haywire, and you have to really be a good shooter to have to engage that active shooting. I'm just not sure if teachers would be prepared to do that. I think there's so many other ways we can go with that, but we talk about a lot of this with our ladies. We really do, but
it's good.
In the end, they're going to make that decision, but we always talk about being responsible with having a proper holster, how you're carrying, and I am a big opponent of purse carry, because the first thing the victims, criminals would do is snatch a woman's purse.
Right.
But if that gun is in the purse, it's even dangerous having a firearm in the purse, because if you sit your purse down and someone goes in your purse to grab a pen or gum or something, that firearm could go off. So, yeah, we talk about responsible firearm safety all the time. We drill it in.
She is Lynn Dunnigan. She's the owner of JMD Defense and Investigations and the founder of the Ladies of Steel Gun Club on the South Side. Lynn, for other women in the Chicago area who want to get more information about Ladies of Steel, maybe participate in your club, how can they do that?
Well, I have a website. It's jmddefense.com, and we're located at 1447 West 103rd Street. The phone number is 773-614-8747. And one more thing I just want to mention about self-defense. We do have a class for college girls going away to college.
Oh, good.
It's called Before She Goes to College, and it's self-defense. Now, like I said, we're not teaching them. The parents can make a decision and take them to the range, but we are teaching them self-defense techniques.
Excellent. Lynn Dunnigan, Ladies of Steel Gun Club, JMD Defense. Lynn, thanks again for joining us. Appreciate it.
And thank you so much.
And she joined us on the Turnkey.pro answer line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Today, mostly sunny, high 46. All the hackers get out there and then complain, oh, I haven't played for months. I never shoot this bad. Tonight, down to 28. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 47. Low tomorrow night, 29. Sunday, plenty of sunshine, high 51. Maybe Prof will invite us all to his country club. Now, Jim Telemonte, tell us how Prof can make it there in a hurry.
Well, not by taking the Ryan Expressway in either direction, Sean. It's just awful. It was a really major early morning wreck, which still has the local lanes outbound closed to 31st. Traffic is jammed from well before the Burns Circle now, extending to the Kennedy. Actually, it's jammed really from Montrose on the Kennedy all the way to 31st. And the express lanes are open. All traffic diverts there. Inbound, we've got a mess now with a crash past 75th, blocking 3 right lanes. 45 minutes from 95th to downtown. This has the Bishop Ford jam starting around the Stony Island feeder. That's 35 minutes, 80-94 to the merge. I-57, 22 minutes from I-80 to the Ryan. Eden's is clear. Kennedy inbound. Delays start again at Montrose at 52 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. The locals are quicker than the express. Upon 10 minutes to Montrose, 26 to the airport. On Eisenhower, delays start at 17th Avenue. 55 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 34. Stevenson, an hour and 10 minutes, 355 to the drive. Outbound 35 minutes. Delays on Lakeshore Drive, southbound of Bryn Mawr to North Avenue. Northbound from the Stevenson to before Jackson. Southbound Tri-State tied up. The Adams Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound Harlem to 31st. And from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. Veterans Memorials, those southbound from the Army Trail Toll to St. Charles, northbound Boughton to the Reagan Tollway. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Songs have been written about it, wars have been fought over it, and just holding it in the palm of your hands is magnificent. Silver and gold have been bartered, bought, and sold for centuries, and now is the time for you to invest in one of the most recognized financial assets and ensure your portfolio is guarded against inflation and a declining dollar. For such an exclusive opportunity and investment, put your trust in Kedzie Coins. Kedzie Coins is an accredited precious metals dealer member with family roots in the heart of Chicago. And as members of the Professional Numismatics Guild, they are committed to the strictest standards of excellence and ethics. With one of the largest selections of gold and silver bullion minted in the U.S., Kedzie Coins is your destination to buy American. Visit one of their 3 locations, Kedzie Coins and Jewelry on 59th and Kedzie in Chicago, What a Gem Jewelry and Coins in Berwyn, or the flagship store, Broadway Jewelry and Rare Coins in Bradley, just north of Kankakee. For questions or to set up an appointment, call 773-436-0777.
Napa know-how. Hey, I'm Chase Elliott, driver of the number 9 Napa Chevy. Here to tell you that when you spend $25 at Napa this month, you'll get a free number 9 Napa racing cap. So whether you're a fan of drivers with fast cars or just a fan of keeping the sun out of your eyes, you'll get a free number 9 racing cap just for spending $25 at Napa. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. Napa know-how. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Offer expires 3/31/18.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, what are you doing up here on the roof? I want to tell the world I just met the woman of my dreams. What about you? I want to tell the world that Liberty Mutual saved me $782. Liberty did what? They saved me $782. Oh, you go first then. $782 really puts finding love into perspective.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I had this crazy thing happen with my eyesight. I went back to get my contact lenses done, and my optometrist, and I'm 46, he said, this is really weird, but your eyesight is better. I'm like, I can't believe it, but I think it's these vitamins I'm taking.
I'm a huge believer in the product. I've tried lots of stuff, and this is the only real thing that I've ever, because of all these comparisons with all the other stuff I've had. This is by far the best thing, and consistently.
We're so healthy now on the Balance of Nature. There's no words to say how well it works.
Doing good on it, really. I'm feeling my skin is softer, and I feel good.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Convenience, confidence, value. Experience all three when you bring your European vehicle to Midwest Performance Cars for maintenance and repair. BMW, Porsche, Audi, Mercedes. We make it convenient for you. Our drop-off procedure has most customers on their way in under 5 minutes, and we feature complimentary Uber or Lyft service to get you where you need to be. With our tablet-based digital inspections, you'll be confident that we only recommend service your car needs. We email or text your vehicle's condition report with pictures and video so you can make an informed decision. And our 3-year, 100,000-mile parts and labor warranty provides unmatched value. We perform outstanding service and we stand behind it. Read our Google reviews and see for yourself. In Chicago at 1385 West Lake Street, book your appointment online at MidwestPerformanceCars.com or call us at 312-432-9492. And coming this summer, we will be opening our second MPC location in Northbrook, Illinois.
It's tax season. Are you prepared? Do you need help? It's time to call your trusted tax advisor, Timothy C. Wolf, who's a CPA with over 35 years' experience in tax planning and preparation. Tim is knowledgeable about the current as well as the new 2018 tax legislation. Tim will complete your return while you wait, where possible, or in as little as 48 hours. It'll have your tax return electronically filed with any refund being directly deposited to your account. As a Food for the Poor business benefactor, Tim challenges new and existing clients to contribute to Food for the Poor with any new client contributions matched up to $50. Call 847-818-0400 to schedule an appointment. All new clients will receive a 20% discount off their 2017 tax preparation fees, as well as a free review of your past 3 tax returns. 1 in 3 reviews have resulted in refunds up to $50,000. Now is the time to call or text Tim at 847-818-0400 to schedule your appointment, or go to timwolfcpa.com to find out more.
AM 560, The Answer.
Internet meme. Cabela sells guns to 18 to 21-year-olds because they're not dicks. Sporting goods.
Oh, and I thought I was the king of the double entendre.
You get it? You see what they did? Text still coming in. I'm listening until 9 a.m. because Sean is on. Some people have no sense of humor. Also, a support group has formed. Text from... wait, where do we go here? I want to get that one in. Text from 847. I'm here with you. Only 48 minutes more. We'll get through this together. Thank you.
Nice.
Matt in Champaign, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning.
I appreciate your liveliness, Sean. But I just want to mention 2 things. One, I think the reason they have the handguns at 21 is because they're concealable, and a rifle is not so concealable. If someone's walking into a school with a rifle, really, that should be something that the administration catches. And secondly...
Stop that guy with the 30-06. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so the other thing is, I don't understand. People make the teachers with guns thing a little more confusing than it really needs to be. It's not like, hey, I'm a teacher, I want to carry a gun, let's throw a gun at them and let them carry.
Yeah.
It's something you get qualified for so that the police know, with fire departments, they are familiar with a building so that if there's a fire, they know how to deal with it. Same thing with the school. These teachers are the ones who have the right to carry a handgun. These are the people you should look out for.
That's
I don't
right.
think it's that difficult.
Thanks for the call, Matt. And he makes a good point, too. If you're coming to school in a Cromwell tank,
sure,
some adults should take
They'll
notice
spot
of that. Yeah. Theodore in Chicago.
Hey, great. I listen to you guys every day. It's a great show. I was just curious. I have 2 young daughters, and I was raised with guns. And it would be really nice to find a place in the Chicago area where I can take my teen daughters to learn to be able to defend themselves. So later on, when they do leave me, they are able to protect themselves.
Come out to the Aurora Sportsman's Club. I'll host you out at the Aurora Sportsman's Club in Waterman. You got rifle, you got shotgun, you got handgun, you got archery, you got the whole thing.
Can I bring my 13, 14-year-old daughters there?
Sure, you can, as long as your adult is there. As long as you're there with them. Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
All right. So, hey, hold on the phone, and we'll get your contact information. I'll have you out at Aurora. Thanks for the call, Theodore.
I never got invited to Aurora. How about you, Mike
and you're
Scott?
You're not going to be. Mike Scott has a chance.
All right.
Not you.
All right, let's go to Mike.
Mike in Park Ridge.
Mike.
Yeah, guys, I just have to say, it's a little off topic, but I've been listening to Chicago radio for 25 years, and this prof guy is as good as Kevin Matthews. I don't know if you remember Kevin Matthews.
We had him on the show a couple weeks ago, but I'm not as good as him.
Yeah, he had the alter ego Jim Short, sports shorts.
Yeah.
That people thought was a real guy. And Dan Proft has taken that to another level with this Sean from Elmwood Park bit.
Yeah, exactly. He's a Sean from Elmwood Park. He's not a real person.
Yeah, my wife wishes they were.
Thanks very much for the call, Mike. All right, coming up, Delaware wants to allow school children to be able to identify their gender and their race as they see fit without parental input, much less approval. That was discussed on Tucker Carlson's show, and we'll discuss it here at 8:38. But now we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
In Chicago, we have sunshine and 33 degrees. We're following a developing story this morning on the campus at Central Michigan University. That is in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. There are reports of shots fired on the campus. That is in north central Michigan, the Lower Peninsula. It is near Traverse City, Michigan. Television stations there reporting shots were fired near the 4th floor of Campbell Hall. Details are extremely limited right now, although the text alert is confirmed by Central Michigan University. No other information has been released. Again, the university located in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, north central Lower Peninsula of Michigan. Huge storm hammering the East Coast today. Forecasters say it's a nor'easter. Drenching rain, heavy snow, howling winds, high waves. In Massachusetts, Newburyport Mayor Donna Holliday warning residents to get out now.
To evacuate and go to friends, family, somewhere away from the danger of the tides.
Authorities are warning about power outages, about 300,000 without power right now, and delayed and canceled flights. American, Delta, Southwest, and United Airlines all waiving change fees ahead of the storm. The late Billy Graham being laid to rest today. A spokesman for Graham's organization says dignitaries from across the world are attending.
More than 2,000 guests are expected to attend the funeral, including family, friends, dignitaries, and more than 100 international delegates from 50 countries.
A private service for the renowned preacher will be held around noon Eastern Time on the grounds of his library in Charlotte. Authorities are investigating the cause of a deadly fire on Chicago's west side. Fire department says the blaze started early this morning in an apartment complex near West Chicago and Laramie. A firefighter is also hospitalized with an injury. Bail set at $100,000 for a Chicago man accused of driving at Elmhurst police earlier this week. Byron Otterbury faces multiple charges, including aggravated assault of a police officer. A pair of large hurricanes and some severe weather getting the blame for massive payouts at State Farm, the Bloomington-based insurance giant, announcing it posted a nearly $2 billion operating loss for last year. The statement from the company says a large underwriting loss drove the operating loss. One and done for Northwestern. The Cats are out of the Big Ten basketball tournament, falling to Penn State after an injury-riddled season, 65-57. Missouri Valley Tournament continues in St. Louis today. Loyola will square off with Northern Iowa, but the coach picks up some postseason hardware. Coach of the year for Porter Moser. Blackhawks no match for the Sharks in a 7-2 loss. The news is a service of Napa. This month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores, you get a free Chase Elliott racing cap with a $25 purchase. While supplies last, that's Napa know-how. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
With so many homeowners fearful of poor service and not knowing who to trust, home remodeling is often delayed. But do you ever wonder why so many remodeling experiences go so wrong? Advanced Design Studio thinks remodeling shouldn't be so painful. Will the project stay on budget and be done on time? If you're nervous about home remodeling, you're not alone. Whether you're contemplating a new kitchen or bath, want an addition to your home, or in need of a whole house transformation, Advanced Design Studio is the company to call. They understand your fears and know how to overcome them. Backed by 25 years of producing positive remodeling experiences, Advanced Design's client service process, called Common Sense Remodeling, averts remodeling project delays, budget overruns, and produces a rewarding remodeling experience. Make this the year you overcome your fears and remodel your home, bath, or kitchen. Don't be a bad remodeling story. Use common sense and visit advanceddesignstudio.com for more information or call 847-836-2600.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Career politicians put jobs in Mexico ahead of jobs in Muncie, jobs in Beijing ahead of Bloomington. And when our jobs disappeared, the insiders sat on their hands and did nothing. Businessman and outsider Mike Braun is running for U.S. Senate to bring Indiana jobs back. Family man, businessman, Christian, Mike Braun created hundreds of jobs here in Indiana. As senator, Mike Braun will help pass President Trump's agenda. Braun will repeal Obamacare once and for all, defund dangerous sanctuary cities, and finally build the wall. And Mike Braun will protect the right to life and stand up for our values. No more career politicians. Businessman, outsider, conservative. We need Mike Braun in the United States Senate. He puts Indiana and America first.
I'm Mike Braun, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
It is 8:37 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Traffic on the inbound Kennedy is very heavy from Montrose to past the Burn Circle to 31st Street on the outbound Rhine. The local lanes remain closed after a major early morning wreck. All traffic diverts to the Express. Kennedy running 55 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 45 from Montrose, 44 in the Express. The outbound Rhine has that big jam, and inbound it's very heavy. Delays starting on the Bishop Ford and I-57. A crash past 75th is gone, but it's 35 minutes, 95th to downtown on the Bishop Ford, especially affected. 52 minutes, 80-94 to the merge. I-57, 30 minutes, I-80 to the Rhine. Edens is fine. Kennedy outbound, just a 5-minute delay, Lawrence to Sayre. The Eisenhower, 52 minutes, 390 to downtown, 37 from Mannheim. Outbound, 34 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 10 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound, it is clear. Southbound Tri-State heavy from the Adams Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound Harlem to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. Southbound Veterans Memorial slow. The Army Trail Toll to St. Charles. Northbound Boughton to the Reagan Tollway. 80-94 westbound. Stop and go chase to Kennedy Avenue with a crash in the left lane. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Just want to update folks. I know there's parents listening who may have students at Central Michigan University where that shooting suspect is still at large. CMU police say the suspect, again, is still perhaps on campus after a shooting at Campbell Hall this morning. Shots fired at Campbell Hall this morning. Police are urging students and staff to shelter in place and stay clear. We'll keep our eyes on that story as we watch the weather this morning. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Sunny and 46 today, clear and 28 overnight. Currently 33. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next with our friend from Sean from Elmwood Park. There he is, sitting in with us this morning on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
Hey, before you read about it on Facebook or Twitter or hear about it from your friends, find out what today's big stories really mean with me, Sean Hannity, today at 2, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, it's Dan and Sean from Elmwood Park in for Amy this morning, and point of personal privilege here. Congratulations to Porter Mosier, the Missouri Valley Conference Coach of the Year down there at Loyola. He is a Bennett grad.
Really?
Bennett Academy grad, standout basketball player at Bennett. And so that's great for Porter Mosier. He'll be at a bigger program one of these days, but it's great what he's
standout
done
athlete
at Loyola.
at Bennett.
Yep.
Like the tallest Chicago Democrat, isn't it? It's not that big of a deal.
The alma mater of Frank Kaminsky.
Oh.
I mean, you know nothing
Trust
about
fund,
sports.
baby. No, I don't watch sports.
Trust
Men in
fund, baby.
costumes, tracing balls.
Yeah, you, I believe, at St. Joe's were known because you were the first male cheerleader, right?
Yes.
Back in the Isaiah Thomas era.
Middle linebacker, baby.
Yeah.
Haven't grown an inch
On the
since
powder
then.
puff
That's
team.
all right. I don't want to talk about it.
Mickey and Berwyn, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. I am the anti-Sean from Elmwood Park.
You
I
sound
am
like
Mickey
Darth
from
Vader.
Berwyn, the
Oh.
nationalist.
Oh.
And
Okay.
thank you for defending me against John Cash at one time. You did have me correct.
Okay.
You know, if we're just going to go socialism, it's good. But I called today because I'm sick of my wages staying the same for 40 years. I'm sick of not being able to work 60 hours a week. Now I got to worry if I'm going to pay my rent or if I'm going to feed my dog.
Okay.
I am sick of hearing my family at the dinner table brag about how their stocks are going up there at Trump while I'm still waiting for this wall to be built and illegals to be kicked out of the country so my wages can go up. I am so sick of conservatism and these double Trumpers. Go ahead and join the Obama lights.
Yeah, I'm the
And-
Obama
and
light.
just-
You're the guy asking
Hold
for
on
a
a
handout.
second.
Yeah.
Let him finish his
All
point.
filled up on stupid. It's almost
Mickey, thanks for the call, Mickey. Appreciate it.
I'm the Obama guy? He's talking about wage control, profit control, because he's sick. He won't improve himself. That's our problem. And I'm the Obama guy? Please.
All right. Yesterday on Tucker Carlson, they debated this issue because I know this is not an issue. Live and let live, and all that certain groups want is this, and then that's all they want, and then we won't have any consternation or acrimony. For example, with marriage redefinition, just civil unions. That's all we want, and that's it. And then we know what's happened and continues to happen, so much so that Mike Huckabee, see this?
No.
Mike Huckabee announced as the newest member of the board of the Country Music Association, the charitable foundation of the Country Music Association.
A relative?
Mike Huckabee,
Yeah.
the
did he-
former governor.
Right. Did he announce a relative? I know he's big on putting relatives in high places.
No, he was named to
Oh,
the
he was named.
charitable foundation's board of the Country Music Association, and that lasted for all of about a day. And then the CMA board accepted his resignation from its board of directors effective immediately because the good old boys and girls of country music are offended by Mike Huckabee's position on marriage redefinition.
What is his position on marriage redefinition?
He believes in traditional marriage, one man, one woman,
Oh, okay.
like everybody believed in until 3 minutes ago.
Well, I have to tell you, you know this. You and I have talked about this. I agree in principle. I disagree in the practical application. I don't want the government licensing my marriage or relationships, or I don't need their approval or tax benefits.
Yeah.
Let's get them out of the eHarmony business.
Right.
I want them to focus on what they're good at. which is
Specious
screwing
argument, and that's a great segue to more specious arguments. So at Tucker Carlson yesterday, you had a discussion about Regulation 225 in Delaware. 225. This would allow students in the Delaware schools, children as young as 5 years old, to decide what gender and race they are. And it would not require parental consent or even involvement. And in point of fact, the school could move to prohibit parental involvement in the decision. Tucker Carlson sets it up.
Delaware is on the brink of passing a regulation that would allow children to change their gender without parental permission or even knowledge. Regulation 225 would order all schools to let kids pick their bathroom, locker room, sports team, preferred name, regardless of their biological gender. The regulation would also let students choose their own race. And if the school wishes, parents will be told nothing.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Who would like to see Delaware Regulation 225 brought to Chicago and Illinois? Right, because you know, in the interest of tolerance, because all they want is just and then that'll be it. And that, right? Because we're not going to connect dots, we're not going to pretend to see the continuum here. Listen to the language of Mark Perpuro, who is a LGBTQ RSTUVWXYZ activist who was on with Tucker Carlson. Listen to the language he uses about the adults, the parents, because they're not your kids, and don't make no mistake about it. Let's catch these words: permitted, consider, not prohibited.
It simply allows them to identify their gender or their race for school records purposes. The school is permitted under the regulation to seek the permission of parents before they make that change. And it suggests also that if the school decides to seek the permission of the parents, that they consider the health, safety, and well-being of the child before they do that.
The school may include the parents or may not. And the school may decide to agree with the parents, or they may overrule the parents under the generic heading of health, welfare, and safety of the child. 5-year-olds. Your 5-year-old. Tucker Carlson on parents like him.
The sad reality,
but hold on. But the school is not the parents. The teachers didn't give birth to the child, haven't raised the child. How could teachers justify not telling parents why are they not required to tell parents immediately?
Sure, Tucker. The simple fact is that some parents are simply not going to be supportive of their child, and it may endanger the child's safety or well-being to involve that parent in that.
Who makes that decision? Who makes that decision?
Well, the school would make the decision.
And so if you can be involved as a parent as long as you agree with your 5-year-old. If you disagree with your 5-year-old, you could be construed as endangering your 5-year-old's health, welfare, safety, and be overruled by the school. Where does the school get that right? We don't know.
In order to violate that right, you need a court order. But you're saying that a school official can just decide it's not in the child's interest, and I'm asking you where you get the right to violate millennia of sacred tradition and make that decision in place of a parent. Simple question. Where's that right come from?
Tucker, the child has a right to dignity and respect in school, and they shouldn't have to choose between that dignity and respect and being unsafe at home, being subject to potential physical violence, mental anguish.
But somebody has to make the decision.
Unless they're in the mother's belly. Because I'll bet you $100 right now, Prof, this guy's pro-abortion and has given money to Planned Parenthood. The guy who loves the children.
Well, what about on the summer? So do you understand what he's saying? The school has the right, because if the parent doesn't agree with their 5-year-old about the 5-year-old's gender and race, then that constitutes, in Mark Purpura's own words, mental anguish. It could lead to physical violence. It could lead to homelessness.
It's like an ad for homeschooling. But I grew up in Melrose Park, where a lot of the boys would like this rule. You mean to tell me I could say I feel like a girl and go in the girls' locker room today? I've got about 7 guys I can name off the top of my head would have loved it.
Yeah, if only it was that funny, though. And I know that people are afraid to speak up on this because most people are cowards. And so they're afraid to say what they know to be true about how dangerous this is and about exactly where this is going and how much evidence do you need to see the path. I mean, honestly, the same people, including many on the right, like Jonah Goldberg, who didn't see any problem with marriage redefinition and then were aghast at what it became, telling a business who they may and may not serve and the way in which they may or may not serve them, and the silencing of dissent and the throwing of the Mike Huckabees off of charitable boards because of a disagreement on a cultural issue. That's what's actually happened, the enforced silence, the unanimity of opinion that's compelled by the state. And that's a real danger, in addition to the implications of this junk science on gender and the pernicious, lethal impact of identity politics that it's already having and that it will continue to have. That was our entire conversation yesterday with Eli Steele and the documentary he made about enrolling his son in the L.A. schools. Kurt in Park Ridge, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
You know, what's going to happen to the white child that decides that he's actually a Native American, and then the Native Americans attack him for misappropriating their culture? Who's going to protect that kid then?
Sounds like a scholarship to me.
Thanks for the call, Kurt. Yeah, it's the layers and layers of it. The hope is that it cannibalizes itself, but I wouldn't hold out hope. Andy in Hinsdale.
Well, here's step one on cannibalizing itself. I operate a business in Chicago, and there's all kinds of women-owned business grants and low-interest loans available. If I can go in Monday morning and say I'm a women-owned business, even though I'm 6 foot tall and 225 pounds with a crew cut, I don't know. This might not be that bad of an idea.
Yeah, right. Thanks for the call, Andy.
Have you seen the Baton Club?
Do you think that cannibalizing itself will happen? What will actually happen is they will roll over the weak because they're thugs. Isn't that what's happening with men in women's sports? You have some women, some girls that are participating, protesting, but where is the momentum? Is it with the women or is it with the men pretending to be women?
You know what will happen, Dan, and as a parent, it's homeschooling. And I mean this. Homeschooling will happen. The more this is commonplace, the more this is accepted, the more people will say, I'm not subjecting both myself or my child that I love to this kind of nonsense. That's what should happen anyway. Get everybody out of school. Too much commingling.
David in McCook.
Hey, good morning, guys. Sean, love your sarcasm, man.
Thank you. One. There's one.
Yeah, one.
The real surprise here is the fact that Delaware is doing this before the fruitcakes in California.
Governor Moonbeam, yeah, thanks for the call, David. Lee in Hammond.
Yeah, hi, guys. I called on that steel topic, but now that you're bringing this up, I got a question for Prof. You see this kind of crazy stuff, and you wonder, is this mass psychosis, or is this whole thing with this political correctness organized? I mean, I can't believe these people are this crazy.
Well, thanks for the call, Lee. They're crazy like foxes. This is about power. Identity politics is a racial order. It's about power. Gender-bending politics is another political order. It is about power. It is about the imposition of will. That's why all of the sentimental stories about that were used to advance redefinition of marriage were just that, sentimentalism. And as Flannery O'Connor famously observed, sentimentality leads to the gas chamber. You needed a redefinition of marriage to get the redefinition of gender, the redefinition of the identity politics to redefine everything else. But it's always about political power. What are they pursuing? Watch them. We demand that. What are the Black Lives Matter demands on units of government? They're material things. They want to be in charge. They shall impose their will. You will be silenced. I don't understand how people don't understand what's right in front of them.
It's about corralling us into the servants. That's what political correctness has been used as for 100 years. You think this is the first time this happened? This happened in Mother Russia. This happened in the fatherland. It happens in North Korea. This is their spear. This is their cattle prod that they will use to get you all in a corral.
There's just something you have to remember, and I've said it on the show before, and I'll say it again. Hopefully listen up. I'm frustrated sometimes with the class. People see all this around them, and there's examples after examples. What's happening? I don't get it. It's so simple. There are two bulwarks against the state, family and religion. And so what does the state and what do statists want to do? They want to eliminate the hurdles to their control. The hurdles to their control, family and faith, family and religion, which is why religious liberty is so important and faith-based institutions are so important and why family is so important. And when you allow the government, as Mark Papura wants to do, to intervene between mom and dad and kid, then you have the Platonic Republic that the statists want. They want to be in charge. They want to direct your life. They want to remake heaven on earth. That's a real thing, and it's happening.
Now, Prof, it's that kind of absolute correctness that's going to get you beat up in this Donna Brazil thing. Do you want me to go? Because if she charges you, brother, she'll go through that jab like confetti.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your